This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with a room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN Live is presented by our title sponsor, RoadPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our major sponsors, Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, Lithia Ford of Boise, and the Blue and Orange Store. For more coverage of Boise State athletics, check out the all-new BroncoNationNews.com, now part of the 247 Sports family. Now, here's five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Day two from a Circa Resort and Casino here in Las Vegas. We're having fun. It's Ultimate Contest Weekend. We're signing folks up for contests. We're watching Brad Bedell get into it, splitting face cards. We're having beverages by the pool, having great food. We're having a great time at Circa Resort and Casino. If you've never been down here before, it is a must on your next trip to Las Vegas. Found out yesterday from Derek Stevens, broke his own record here, the longest indoor bar in the state of Nevada. They literally do have it all here. They make this a place that, as Brad said yesterday, you never want to leave. They got the sports, they got the pool, they got all the great restaurants and options here as well. And even had room service for Brad Bedell ready to go this morning at 6:30.
Right. It was delicious too. Much needed.
Day two, Circa Resort and Casino. We're here for the Ultimate Contest Weekend, and we welcome you in to the third floor ballroom here, Brad, as we are having fun on a Friday.
Yep.
And day two, and it's been an awesome trip so far. We're here to talk Boise State football, Mountain West football. We've got games tomorrow, Brad Bedell, week 0 games. Right now, it's 9:06 down here in Vegas. Okay, it's 10:06 back in Boise.
Correct.
Right now, tomorrow, the ball will have been kicked off for Iowa State and Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
That is a 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern, 10 a.m. back in Boise. So right now, tomorrow, folks, you'll be watching a Big 12 conference game from Dublin, Ireland
Makes
on
a lot of
August 23rd.
Yeah, they're separated by what? Small little flight. So let's just take a conference game and have them play in Dublin, Ireland. Sounds good.
It's Keaton says, I am heading to Circa after work today to sign up for Survivor. Anything I should say or write to let them know I'm supporting the BNN partnership? Yes, it's Keaton. You should. I don't know. I guess you must. Maybe you live in Vegas and you don't need a proxy. I'm not sure, but let me know. We can hook you up with a proxy who can make the picks for you if you're not in Las Vegas. But either way, that's awesome, and appreciate you. And for doing that, you're going to get a hat. Brad Bedell, we have a couple hats here. We may need to try to put the pressure on our man Mike Palm when he joins us in a couple minutes here, because I signed up about 6-7 people yesterday and they tried to give me one hat. So
and one drink ticket.
I got 4. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I get one per entry, I guess. Yeah. 1 entry and 1 hat for your $1,000 entry.
So you get a $10 Coors Light on a $1,000 bet. Sign me up.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, he lives in Vegas. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. I'm wearing the Millions hat, by the way. I like this hat, the rope hat. It's a nice little, it's a very nice hat. They've upgraded the hats this year. When they go to Game 1 hats next year, they're going to be even nicer. Yeah. But we are excited to be here, having some fun, talking football, talking gambling. And yeah, I mean, I know they moved the week 0 up, Brad, but it is crazy with a conference game, Dublin, Ireland on August 23rd.
Yeah, that doesn't, which is, I mean, interesting, but awesome. We're kicking it off. And then I still don't understand, I don't know why the Big 12 put a conference game in Ireland, right? Like last year was Florida State.
Who lost Georgia Tech last year, yeah.
Yeah, that's a conference game too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
the leagues are getting the money, I guess, for doing this. And I don't know which team's giving up the home game. We're leaving the chair empty here because Mike Palm is going to join us in about 7 minutes. He's the vice president of Circa Resort and Casino and the D, and going to tell us all kinds of things going on with this football contest and with Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, Brad, we got plenty of Boise State talk as well. The depth chart will be out tomorrow. We're going to give our thoughts, maybe preview that. Brad wants to go game by game through the schedule because the over-under here on Boise State's schedule is 10. 10 is the over-under. It's plus 105. If you want to win that bet, Boise State would have to go 11-1 or 12-0. Right. You could get the push on 10. Right. To lose the bet, they would have to go 9-3 or worse. So if you think that they're probably no way they're going 9-3, you could take your chances on the over. But it's over-under of 10. That's pretty hard to win when you only get the 1 loss guarantee.
Right, but I have a question on that. Does that count conference championships?
Only 12 regular season games.
Okay.
So if they go 11-1, lose to Notre Dame, you'd win your bet. But if they lose next week, or if they lose another game at some point and go 10-2, you would just get your money back as a push.
Right.
But if they were to go 9-3, you'd lose.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's been 9.5, and it's kind of, as the more money comes in, it's gone up to 10, it's a pretty high number. You got to, where the actual number is 10.
Yeah, it's a big number, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 wins. I was looking at Colorado's, and I'm like, they're 5.5, and I was like, that's about right. But 10 wins. I mean, we expect Boise to be very good, right? I mean, they're going to be a good football team, but that's a ballsy bet at 10 wins.
Well, we'll get into that, and we'll look at some of the projected games and things. It's Keaton. Let us know. Send me a message on Twitter or something. If you're going to be around here, we'd love to meet you, man. If you're signing up for the contest here in Vegas, that's awesome that you're coming to Circa today. And make sure you get one of these hats. And yeah, try to reach out. We'd love to say hello. And Brad Bedell would love to shake your hand as well for coming down here and signing up for the contest. John says good morning from Anchorage, Alaska. We have Mark Gonzalez watching from Reno today. So folks watching literally all over the country today, Brad. And we're going to get into a lot of Boise State stuff, like I said. But it took until the second night. It took, a few hands. But we finally had a little more unrest at the table about Brad Bedell splitting face cards last night.
Yeah, she wasn't very happy.
Desiree was in disarray, is what I said. She was not. She was not.
Yeah, she was not very happy. When she still won the bet, I don't understand, but it's when people break the norm, they get upset at you. Oh well, it's my money. I can do whatever I want with it.
Brad Bedell splitting face cards. Some folks not necessarily okay with it. You've been doing it all night. The dealer tried to let the person know that you've been doing it all night. But
it was a big win. It was a big win. It was a huge swing.
What's worse, if you're splitting the face cards to mess up the people at the table, or if you're playing the don't come or don't pass line and craps and then rolling and making people, is that which one's considered worse? I guess
I can't answer because I do not understand craps.
Well, we'll need when Mike Palm comes on. I want to ask him about the splitting face cards thing once and for all. I assume the casino likes it because it's a dumb play. He's
going to say thank you for your donation.
I'm sure he probably. Hey, Carrie Simons in the house, and he did it. Carrie actually split face cards. He goes, my buddy over there did it, and then it didn't work, right? Come over here, Carrie. Come here. Come, let's get Carrie on here for a second. Come on, Carrie. You can sit down for a second here. We're having. Have a seat here, Carrie. A little bit of blood in my shoes. Carrie Simons, big Boise State supporter. Good morning. Carrie, how are you? Good. You're on Bronco Nation News Live here. We appreciate you for coming. You flew down yesterday just to sign up for the mic a little closer to your mouth. There you go. You flew down. You've been to Circa before, but you've never done the contest. Nope. You were hearing us talking about it on the show and said, I got to find out what this is all about. And so far, so good.
Yep. Had a good time last night. Had some good food.
Yes, we did. We ate at 8 East here. Went down to the have a good time at the cocktail hour.
Yep. Absolutely. It's been a good time.
And you got to watch Brad do his thing and split face cards.
Yeah. He split face cards?
What a moron.
Well, then Carrie did it, and the lady looked at him and said, are you sure? And he goes, well, my friend over there does it, and you did it. And then she
lectured me.
Yeah, she tried to give the reason to why it wasn't not good to. But what I told Brad was, she said her reasoning was, I wouldn't split a winning hand. And Brad said, well, you could have two winning hands.
Yeah, I could have had two blackjacks, right?
That's right.
Robbie,
I can't believe you did that. You're a moron. No, it's good.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah. I mean, I did it. And Desiree got very upset with me, but she won. I won. We rolled and we moved on.
It was pretty cold there for a while. You and I, we went to a different table than Brad, but we were not having much luck there early on. But
then you got hot.
I did get hot a little bit at the end. I don't know how you finished up, but I
was down a little bit.
Okay, but it was we had our $200
a little blood.
He likes it. What for someone that's never come down to Circa, man? You've done a lot of traveling and been in a lot of nice hotels before. This place is pretty cool.
It is. We came down in March for the tournament, Mountain West. My wife and I.
Yeah,
we had a great time, and I think this is where we're going to come most of the time when we come back.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat.
I mean, the only thing is, it's a little bit of a ride to the arena, but
for Mountain West basketball tournament. Yeah, it's a good 20 minutes,
but it's not a big deal.
We miss your wife, by the way. If she's watching, she gave you the hall pass. She should have come down with you, though. Come on,
you guys were going to be on today.
Yeah,
and I told her about last night. So
there you go.
All good.
He didn't want all the dirty laundry to be aired, and his wife's watching back home. Wait, what? It was only $10, not 10,000. We promise. Yeah.
She's been great. She's the one who wanted me to come down.
So. There you go. Yeah. Well, hopefully she's the one that's going to get first say when you guys win with what to do with the money.
Absolutely.
You're doing the
new Tesla.
You're doing the millions, correct?
Doing the millions.
Yes, millions. Pick 5 every week. Pick 5 games against the spread. Mm-hmm. Brad is doing the Survivor. Right. And Brad, let everyone know we entered the contest yesterday. The name of you and Kent Riddle's Survivor team is what?
Hope to get past week 2.
No, hope to make it to week.
Hope to make it to week 2.
You get 20 characters, and he's sitting there counting out with his fingers. I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, that'll work. And he writes in the name of his Survivor entry that when it's winning up there it says hopes to make it to week 2.
Because last year I did not.
Either did I. Cincinnati took care of us, right?
Yeah, they clawed.
That was not a good week 1 last year. Was not good, but. Having a fun time. Met some other folks that flew down for the contest, and we're going to have a fun time at the pool party today. Cool. We'll be out there, and then there's a blackjack tournament, I believe, at some point this afternoon, and then there's a Legacy Club event with fireworks tonight, I believe, at 8 o'clock. So we're having going to be a fun full day here, and hard to believe there's football tomorrow, Carrie, and Boise State's playing in 6 days or whatever it is now. It's pretty crazy.
Mountain West games tomorrow, right?
Couple of them.
Yeah.
Couple of them. Got Hawaii in action. You got UNLV in action and Fresno in action. Yeah. So we'll see at the.
Why is it a lot of? Has the Mountain West played a lot of games? Week 0 games? Is it because of the Hawaii connection?
Yeah, they get the little waiver for if you play at Hawaii. You can.
Okay.
If you play at Hawaii, you get the 13th game, or you get the waiver to start a week early or whatever. And so they all take advantage of it. So if you're Kansas and Fresno's like, hey, can we start a week early? Kansas is like, sure, we'll do that. Like Kansas gets a third bye out of it for no reason. They're like, sure, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm sure Circa loves it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at it. What do you think this place is going to look like in week 1 when you have Ohio State, Texas? You have week 1 is brutal. I mean, it's tough. It's tough sledding week 1, and this place is going to be
tough.
Oh yeah. Well, Carrie, we got the vice president of Circa coming on here, so we got to kick you out. But any final words for Bronco Nation here?
Don't split 10s or face cards.
Hey, we appreciate you coming down. You got your hands full there.
The guy who gave you that advice gave you
Carrie. Thanks, seriously. Thanks a lot for coming down. We're having a fun time. We'll see you. We appreciate Carrie Simons and company for coming down, and his lovely wife for letting him come down here. So let's take a quick 30-second timeout, and then we'll have the vice president coming on, Mike Palm, here momentarily.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with a room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Back live here with the vice president of operations for Circa, the D, Golden Gate, Circa Sports, all kinds of, I don't know what the official title is, Mike. It's lengthy, but you do a lot and you do a tremendous job at it. And we appreciate you for coming on and always enjoy talking with you. How's it going?
Thank you, BJ. Yeah, it's been a fun and busy week. I mean, we were in Kentucky and we were in Nashville for it seems like an in and out to open the official grand opening of our sports book at the Mint at Kentucky Downs in Franklin, Kentucky. It seems like the whole county showed up, so that was fun. They did a great job. It looks just like the book downstairs here, but about 2/3 the size. So we had a UFC viewing event there last Saturday night, and they drank the place out of beer. The girl at the bar was saying, we had no Michelob Ultra with 2 fights still to go. I'm like, that was the beer of choice. Did they have it over ice? But yeah, that was fun. And then, of course, this and the Radio Row continues to grow. We had a great champions dinner last night, an event at Bar Canada and pool day today and blackjack tournament tonight and the panel tomorrow. So yeah, it's a fun week.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you were part of the crew that got on Derek's jet to come up to Boise in the fall. And we've been reminiscing about that trip. You guys came up and watched the game, and Brad here brought one of the tickets that you guys passed out at the outdoor bar there. That you guys had brought some betting tickets, and he had a winning ticket from somebody that they needed him to cash on the trip here. But it was a fun trip, and it was cool to get you guys up to Boise.
Well, my takeaway is Spencer Danielson. I'm just blown away by that guy. I mean, he is a true believer and an amazing man. And sitting there listening to him talk, he met with us 4 hours before they're playing a national TV game with San Diego State. Derek and our whole crew talking about his program, talking about being at Azusa Pacific, his journey, his mission with these young men and turning them into good citizens and good husbands and good fathers. And I mean, it reminded me of Tom Osborne's book right from the beginning. And I said to Coach, have you ever read it? He said, I haven't. I said, you should read it. His mission is incredible. And then we got to go over basketball practice, which is starting.
Yeah.
Derek did his best Angel Reese. Like he missed 6 layups in a row before he made one. Remember that?
You know what? I have footage of that in there somewhere.
6 offensive rebounds and 1 for 7 from the floor. It was the perfect Angel Reese.
The team's down there. The team's down there practicing on the other end, and here's these guys.
But so I'm talking to Leon Rice, right? And he's he's talking about, when you coach in a community like Boise, like you're the center, you're the focus point of it. Yeah. And everybody's so invested in it. So now we're at the game and we had these all access. So I was walking around the sidelines. I was just thrilled with the whole, and here I'm standing by the goal line and there's Leon Rice. So I start talking to Leon Rice and here comes some woman up. Right. What happened in the tournament last year, Coach? I had to walk away. I'm like, oh my God, what a fishbowl these guys live in up here.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
That's all they have.
But and I know on game day the hay is kind of in the barn. There's a little bit of downtime on a game day, probably. When it's not like you're not watching film of the opponent 4 hours before kickoff. But literally for a 6 o'clock game that night at noon for guys you had never met or whatever to have the Circa crew. And I mean, we kept it kind of quiet at the time just in case the game didn't go well, but I mean, it was a pretty cool thing that he had all those guys in there, and it was 20 minutes or so, or 30 minutes. We're just sitting in there, and he had the view of the field out his office right there. And you would have thought it was a Wednesday in May, not a game day.
Right. It's like a spring practice, but no, that's the way it, Spencer is important that you want to meet with you guys, and you guys have done a lot for Boise State coming out and show the respect and the love for what you guys do. And that's Spencer. I mean, that he's going to make sure and make people feel like they're special.
Yeah.
And that's what he does a very good job at.
It was fun. Yeah. You guys got to meet a lot of other people. I am pushing so hard, Mike, and I need your help. I need to know what I can do. We need to get Idaho moving in the sports gambling direction, and we're going to be one of the last states, unfortunately, I know, but there's only 7, 8, 9 left. They don't have some sort of sports gambling at this point, but we're in the vehicle. I don't know if it's a limo or bus or whatever you call it, with all the Circa guys, and we're driving, and we go past the state capitol, and this guy goes, hey, we need a meeting with Brad Little. Like, he knew the governor's name. He knew right away. He's like, all right, let's meet. So I know it's probably not going to happen in the near future. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I know I'm really making a push because I'm from St. Louis, Missouri guy. It was awesome to see you guys get the Missouri license the other day. It's pushing into other states now, and we got to somehow get Idaho going here.
Yeah, so a group of our guys were just up in Coeur d'Alene, including Tyler, who now went straight to Reno to play in another golf tournament.
Be, tough life.
But they just rave about how beautiful it is up there, and they stayed at the casino. And that's one of the hosts used to work here, Michael Matt. But, one of our players is a huge sports bettor. Of course, he's the only guy that didn't gamble on the trip because that's what he does. He bets sports, right? But I would think there would have to be some vehicle. I mean, look how Missouri did it. I mean, they did 18 months and off and running and wrote the rules and really an expedited process. I was impressed with dealing with the folks in Missouri. And listen, at one point, I was offered the job as a GM at Isle of Capri in Boonville.
Boonville, Missouri. I
was seriously considered taking it. I'd only been in Vegas 2 years, and they sent me the application for a key license in Missouri. I mean, this thing's worse than New Jersey. I mean, they're very strict on backgrounds and everything. To go through that process and get licensed and then win the untethered license was quite a thing. Even if we didn't get it, just for Derek talking on the stage with DraftKings and FanDuel, kind of legitimizes us in places that we've never heard of, Circa Sports. And then we got it. And everybody said, well, Mike, why did you say it was 40-1? I said, well, FanDuel said we're going to give you $40 million in tax revenue the first year. What are we going to give them? 400,000? You think we're an underdog to get the untethered license? But they bought Derek's argument, which was a good one.
And I know we
have a different customer.
Yeah, and a lot of that's minutia and stuff that people don't understand when it gets down to it. There's different ways, but you got the untethered license. So you can just go in there with your app, and you don't have to have any kind of brick and mortar. You don't have to team up with any. I mean, I think the Blues or Cardinals would be great to team up with at some point.
The Blues have been courting us for a while.
Perfect.
Right? Which we'll probably do still advertising deals.
Yeah.
And we love the Blues.
Yeah.
And when Texas had it on the ballot, we were talking to Dallas, to the Stars.
Okay.
And Nashville, the Predators are a likely thing because we're 45 minutes from Nashville and Kentucky. Right. We already have the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Derek, if things fall right, we could have 4 teams in the NHL Central. They'll rename it the NHL Circa.
There you go.
I mean, if we're the Jersey Pats on 4 teams in one division.
In terms of iconic sports jerseys, getting on the St. Louis Cardinals jersey would be a pretty sweet one as well for me.
I think it would be pretty costly too.
Probably so.
They might be up there in the NFL type of dollar.
Is that why there's a lot of NHL? Is it just money-wise?
It's economically feasible, and you're getting 80 games. I mean, the NFL is ludicrous. I mean, they're going to charge you 10x, and if you're in the home patch, you get 8 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're getting 40 games from the NHL, right? Plus, on Sundays, we throw the biggest party at our casino. We're not taking people to NFL games. Right. Just like the Raiders want us to buy a booth. And at the time when they were opening Allegiant, 600,000 for 8 games. Oh, you get 2 preseason. 600,000
Cool.
for 8 games. It's 140 for the Knights for 41 games.
Right.
I mean, it makes no sense. So,
yeah.
We're not, like Derek says, I'm an M guy, not a B guy. But I mean, the NFL's in a different stratosphere, and the Dodgers pitched us right this year.
Okay.
I mean, to have a sign behind home plate was 20 times what the Padres charged. You know, it's just.
What about like NASCAR? Is that through the roof too?
Yeah, we've never really, because we're not really in the Southeast, right? We're more of a Western and I guess Midwest, but I don't think we've explored it a lot. We've done some sponsorships when they have the race out here and we get drivers to come in and that, but you're probably right. That's probably a much more economical way for the number of eyeballs that you get on it.
For folks that are watching this in Idaho and don't understand, and my dad was always one of those guys, just sports gambling. I'll never want to hear a word about it. I'm just whatever. But now it's just so prominent. And like I said, I got my online apps with my bookie down the street. I mean, people are still gambling in Idaho or Utah or whatever states don't have it regardless. But the way that there's money for the tax system and for schools, and I mean, it's once a lot of these states actually look into it, they realize how much just money they're giving away by not doing it, right? I mean, isn't it there would be some benefits to a state like Idaho if they were to decide to do it?
Well, one, it's already going on. It's just going on illegally. And you're not collecting any tax revenue and you're not regulating it. You're sending the money offshore, or or the local bookmakers or the neighboring states. Like Texas is so stupid to me. The amount of revenue they're losing to Oklahoma and Louisiana too. But I mean, all those people from Dallas drive up to Oklahoma to the Indian casinos all the time. It's just, and you can regulate it and you can promote responsible gaming. Do you think, and I'm not trying to have a religious bias question, do you think the Mormon population in Idaho is part of the reason that it's a struggle?
Yes.
Like that's the reason in Utah, it's never going to happen, right? So
I think that is the climate in Idaho is going to make it tough. But I also think if you're a part of the state board or whoever's involved in this, and you see like we're talking tens of $1 million a year that could get thrown into your system for schools
and all kinds of things, and the environment and all kinds of things that you can do with that money, and police and
well, exactly. But regulation, right? Regulation. Now they're putting, they want to build a new Indian casino out there and outside of Boise and things like that. Well, I understand all that. But when you move forward and you get somebody like Circa to come in there, regulation helps. It's like the same thing. Marijuana is the big stigma. Now it's legal in a lot of states and they're driving revenue. But some banks don't want to deal with that.
So right? will it happen? And we're short on time though. Will it happen? At some point will all 50 states have it? No. Or okay?
I don't think so. I don't think Utah will ever have it. And California, they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars campaigning on both sides of the issue. It was so dumb. We had the state treasurer of California before they had the vote a couple years ago. And we said, what if one was to give it to the Indians and one was the big four got it, right? The two spent the money campaigning against the other one. We said to her, if both pass, what happens? She said, we write a bill that everybody gets it. But they campaigned against the other ones, and they both got beat by 70%. I think California is a long shot in Utah. Other than that, I think everybody's got a fighting chance.
Let's try to get this going in Idaho. We really need to. But for folks that live in Idaho and can't make it down, we have Tom Carroll, our proxy. You can sign up for the football contest. That's why we're here. What's the 30-second sales pitch here? Folks that are on the fence about the contest, I know you're pushing towards more record payouts here, and we signed up multiple entries yesterday, and we're excited to be back down here doing it again.
2 different kinds of contests, Circa Millions, 5 picks against the spread every week, 126 ways to win. You're guaranteed 5 months of action, prizes for the worst records. I mean, you're going to spend more on coffee in the next 5 months. And then Circa Survivor is the biggest adrenaline rush you could ever have. If you can make a deep run, it will take over your life. And I think it's worth a shot. You don't have to go all the way. You can monetize your ticket once you get down to 200-300 people.
Yeah, we went to week 10 or 11 2 years ago. I was feeling really good. But last year we were week 1. We were part of the casualty week 1. We both had all of our. Do you recommend putting all the entries week 1 on the same team, or do you need to mix it? Because that's what screwed me last year. I need to mix it up.
I think you take a couple with like the obvious choice Broncos, and then you get creative. I'd even look at the Colts in week 1 this year against the Dolphins.
Colts in week 1. All right. Well, we appreciate it. You got other interviews to get to. Thanks a lot, Mike.
BJ.
Appreciate it. Mike Paul,
so much.
The vice president operations here at Circa Resort and Casino, does a tremendous job, and yeah. The name of his entry.
That's an awesome entry.
Hopefully week 13, we're still talking about that one. But thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Mike Palm does a tremendous job. And I want to keep the gambling discussion going for a second, because I do think that we can get one of these chairs out of here, by the way, too. If you want to move that one and then slide yours in a little bit so we can reset this as a little 2-person shot here. Let us know on the ICCU YouTube chat. Do you think sports gambling would ever happen in the state of Idaho? Would you like to see it happen? Do you even understand how it works with all this money going to the states? And, we were just talking about this, and I always bring up Missouri. I get it, but I'm from there. I follow that stuff. They've gone through this exact same thing within the last couple of years. Illinois had it and Kansas had it, and Missouri like twice voted it down and didn't have it. And I did it myself. You're in St. Louis. The river is crossing over to Illinois. You literally would drive 10 minutes over into Illinois across the river. There is a sports book there. I think it was DraftKings. If you wanted to go in there and watch the games and have all that, but if you wanted to just make a legal sports bet, you just pull off on the side of the road. Your phone knows that you're in Illinois. You get your app out on DraftKings or whatever app, now the Circa Sports app, they're in Illinois, and you can make your sports bet right there, and then you drive back across the river. Kansas City, another big exact same thing on the other side of the state. People would drive to Kansas, and you would just literally know what part of the street is now you're across state lines, pull over, make your bets. All these, it was happening no matter what in other states, and Missouri was too dumb to take the revenue. In Idaho, you're not exactly driving. Maybe if you go to Jackpot, people are driving 2 hours to Jackpot or whatever if they're in Twin Falls area. But I mean, I do it. Everyone does it. You've got your corner bookie, or you've got your guy that has his online app. I mean, there's still millions of dollars in the state of Idaho being gambled illegally. On a daily, weekly NFL base. I mean, I got 10 buddies that all use a bookie and whatever, and just it's all illegal. And so if it's happening anyway, no matter what, regulate it. Let an official company come in like Circa, and then they give like 10% of every bet, or 10%. I think it's 10% of their profits back to the state, and you're talking millions of dollars to the governments and to the school system. And he said the police academies and all this stuff. And so I think there's this perception that is slowly going away in some states. My dad was one of them. If I even brought up the word gambling, my dad would get mad. He's like, "Oh, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about gambling. Oh, that's just watch the game because it's fun, not because you got $20 on whatever." So, I mean, like up until a year ago, my dad would like get really heated when you'd mention the line on a game, or I got this, or you're wasting your money, it's dumb, whatever. But I think more and more people are realizing it's happening no matter what. You might as well make the money on it. And so I think 39 or 40 states now have some sort of legalized sports gambling. It was a Supreme Court ruling or something that changed and let the states decide themselves. Correct. Which is what is now having all these states do this.
Yeah. Took the federal government out of it.
Yeah. And so I don't know enough. I know it's going to be a long shot in Idaho. I mean, it does seem like everyone I talk to, they laugh at me and say, good luck or whatever. I mean, I'm hoping people realize it's happening anyway. If it's going to benefit the state, why would you not do it? And it's just percent. They don't want to make it look like that they are condoning gambling or saying it's okay to, it's like okay. I get that, but it's also if you're just giving away just millions of dollars for your state government that's just sitting there, I don't know why you wouldn't do it.
Why does a state governing board can tell me what I want, what I can and can't do with my own money? I'm a free willing person. If I want to put $100 in a football game, allow me to put $100 in a football game. It doesn't matter, right? Like you said, people are doing it. So why don't you bring it in and regulate it, and everything will be fine? But I also think with the expansion of the apps in the states is where the big talk now is how Vegas tourism is down.
Which I would argue the last 2 days I've seen none of that. At least here at Circa.
Yeah, it's busy here, it's packed here, but overall it has, because I also think people, you can only come to Las Vegas to gamble, right? But now it's no, I can go on my app and do this. So they're kind of taking the Vegas experience away from it, but not places like Circa and things like that are, I don't want to say niche because that's not fair, but this place is specific. We are a sports forward hotel and resort. We got the stadium pool, watch games. You got the biggest sports book in Las Vegas here. So everything's driven to that atmosphere, where you also have a great steakhouse, you got everything else. But some people well, it's regulated in my state. Why do I don't have to drive to Las Vegas or fly to Las Vegas to bet anymore. I can sit at home and do that.
Yeah.
I think Idaho, if they can ever come around to it, and once they start it, it's not like they had at Colorado, where when they legalized marijuana, all of a sudden they had some issues, crime issues, whatever you want to do. But gambling is not like that. It's your own decision as a man. Say, I want to put 10 grand on Boise State to beat South Florida. Then you have the right to do that.
Yep.
You've earned your own money. You can spend your own money there you want it. Stop telling me I can or can't gamble.
But why should Joe Blow bookie in Caldwell make the money if you lose or whatever, and the state government's not getting 10% of that?
Exactly. And your own local bookie's going to take a $20 juice on it, so it's going to just regulate it.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're going to actually spend money that's going to give back to the state, rather than a bookie that's not in the state and is spending that money somewhere else.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
And just think about this too. I always think of a place like Big Al's. Big Al's is essentially a sports book with no gambling. You have all the TVs. They even have the ticker there. I mean, Big Al's is very similar in a lot of ways to like a sports book. And if all of a sudden Big Al's had Circa Sports kiosks over on the side,
right,
where you could walk over and make a bet on a game and then watch the game, you and your buddies could go spend the day for a lot cheaper at Big Al's, drinking and eating, watching games and gambling, than having to fly down here and doing it here.
Agreed.
I mean, if you're in Idaho and you're like, hey, you're talking about wanting to keep tourism and revenue and all there, you go to Buffalo Wild Wings and you look over and there's a Circa Sports kiosk over there in the corner. That's pretty enticing, as opposed to a flight and a hotel and everything to come down here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And also, your kids are going to spend $150 at Big Al's playing video games. We've all been there. Trust me. right? So
I still think you need to find a sports bar that has daycare. Find me some childcare at a sports bar. You go to the gym. They got it at the gym for 2 hours. Let me go watch the game with my butt. I want to. Can we invest in that? Can we start something?
No, because I don't want the liability that some jackass is going to pick up his kid and not do a breathalyzer, and he's going to get a DUI with his kid in the car.
Well, what's the difference if you're giving him money to go? You're watching the game with your buddies, and you're giving him money to go to the arcade anyway. You're saying let somebody watch your kid while you watch the game.
Fair, but I'm not.
I didn't say anything about drinking. I'm just saying you're with your friends. You want to have a good time watching the game and not have your kid be the one on the iPad for 3 hours while you're trying to watch the game.
Good point. It's like you're at the gym. You drop your
That's what I'm saying. You got to, you go work out for an hour and a half, an hour. In my case, 20 minutes, whatever. You let your kids do that, and then you go watch your game with your buddies, and then you go home.
It's a valuable point. We can look at it.
All right, let's invest in that. But it is nice to see a lot of the states come around on this.
Agreed. Yeah,
and we'll see what happens. And I'm not advocating sports gambling. I mean, yeah, Circa's a sponsor of mine. Like, great, if you choose to gamble, come and do it here. Like, I'm not trying to dig some moral thing about sports gambling. It's cool. It's great. You should all do it. And I'm a guy that, I do enjoy if it's a random Monday night football game that I don't care about, or a random, whatever Sunday night football. It's like, yeah, if I had $50 on it, does it make me a little more excited to watch the game? Yes. But it's not like it's life-changing money or anything. It's okay. It's $30, $50, $100 here and there. Like, it's like even yesterday, I was bet a little on the Cardinals game. You could care less about the Cardinals, but you're out at the pool. You're like, I'll find something. I'll put $100 on it. Yeah, why not? We did win.
Yeah.
One other thing I would say is like, it's not that I'm trying to like condone gambling or everyone should be gambling or you should gamble or I get it. Some people just morally that's not their thing. But
okay.
But when it's happening so prominently, no matter what, I just think that these states that haven't yet decided to do it are missing out on just millions of dollars that they could be having
in revenue. But look at the way we touched on it yesterday about college football. They have to put out an injury report. That's not for their teams. Guys, everything is driven towards what? Gambling. The NFL makes a bunch of money on gambling. It's the way it is. And get out of your own hole and look into it. And as long as you've made an educated decision for that state, but just a blind no, we're not doing that, you're not really helping anything. At least look into the situation.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we'll see what happens. But Idaho, not yet one of the states that has it. We'll see if that ever changes. But if you are looking to have a weekend with friends and gamble, Circa is certainly the spot to come down and do it right now. It's an hour and 20-minute flight, pretty cheap flight on Southwest or some of these airlines, and you come down here for a couple days, and there's not a better spot. And I know tomorrow will be obviously week 0, a lot of people out here, but a college football Saturday and NFL Sunday out at Stadium Swim is pretty special.
Oh, yeah, it's really cool. The other thing is do it sooner or later and get the Survivor or get in millions.
Yeah.
And do it.
Might as well. You got a couple extra weeks to make it down for that.
Use the proxy and get going.
Our guy Tom Carroll.
I think it's awesome.
Yep. And I'm feeling a little better week 1 now that we've started to be down here and look at some of these games and lines and things, starting to feel a little better about that. Now, Brad, you did promise me that today Brad's going to be an open book on this show. So if you have any comments, any questions, coaching related, Auburn related, Boise State related, anything you want to know about Brad Bedell, any stories from inside the locker room, and he's tell all today. So Brad Bedell, if you have any questions, football questions, Boise State questions, let us know in the chat here. We had fun answering some questions yesterday, and Brad has agreed to do that again. So if you have any questions, anything you've ever wanted to know from Brad Bedell, now is your chance to get that in the ICCU YouTube chat. We are talking Boise State because their season opener is on Thursday. Tomorrow is Spencer Danielson's season opening press conference. A depth chart will be released tomorrow. We have put a projected depth chart up at BroncoNationNews.com. So if you want to go see what we think the depth chart will look like before it comes out tomorrow, and that's what I would say a pretty close educated guess on all the practices we've seen and things that we saw. We saw the practice on Wednesday when it was raining out there, Brad, and they were pretty much doing things with the teams already decided, the depth chart already out there, even though it's not public. I think it's a pretty close, accurate portrayal, our projection of what it's going to look like. So go to BroncoNationNews.com and check that out. But the first official depth chart will come out with the game notes for week 1, which will be tomorrow on a Saturday with Boise State playing on Thursday. And then they'll have their Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practices on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then they will fly down on Tuesday and then have Wednesday to kind of get acclimated. And then the game will be on Thursday. The one nice thing is with this 3:30 Mountain Time start for on Thursday, the game will be over 6:37. 9. I mean, they're going to get back at 1 a.m., but it could have been 4 or 5 a.m. if it were a 8 p.m. Eastern time start or something.
I agree with you there, but I I don't understand why TV put a game on Thursday at 3:30 during work.
Because it's 5:30 Eastern, and they want to have a doubleheader. They've got 5:30 and 9. They've got Colorado and somebody playing, I believe, after.
Georgia Tech.
I think that might be the game. I think it's Colorado, or there's another game on Thursday. It's a doubleheader, yeah. And so they wanted to get that one kind of, and they're in the later prime time. I think they're starting at maybe that's 7 Mountain. I don't know, but if that's in Colorado, I'll look that up here. But
the old Buffs are going to come out 0-1.
But that's why they wanted to try to squeeze 2 games in on the opening Thursday on ESPN.
So it's like NFL. They want doubleheaders on.
And they get their Eastern time 5:30, but for which is South Florida's Eastern time. So,
Correct.
And then
you get the Western game.
But you're 2:30 on the Pacific time for the start on Thursday. It's a little weird.
It's weird. It's just I get it.
And 3:30. I mean, that's not noon. Like most people can probably get an hour and a half. Or some people maybe not. I mean, maybe you can't. Some people literally go. I work at a job or whatever. You just can't get off. I get it. I understand
the computer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be a weird. But hopefully, I mean, you've also known this for 3-4 months. So I think I know a lot of people that just took the half day. Or just plan for it, right? I mean,
yeah, no, I agree with you. But it's just, they want the doubleheader.
I mean, kids are getting home from school 4:30. The game's already gonna be in the second quarter or whatever. I mean, it is really it's a weird Thursday game, but it is what it is. Blake says, remember when we had that Tuesday home game versus New Mexico in 2017?
Yeah, that was
Thursday home game versus New Mexico in 2017. Do you remember anything? Was it?
I remember doing the Bronco walk, and there was about 6 people there. And nothing against Boise State fans. People got off work.
The tailgating always is not good on the home games during the week because they don't open because of the school going on. They can't open the parking lots as early, so people can't get in there. You can't start tailgating at noon. They open 4 hours before kickoff, I think, so it's 2-3 o'clock, and it's a lot different.
That's a weird thing about Boise and the tailgating situation. Like at Auburn, they actually post says you have to be out of the parking lots by Thursday at noon because motorhomes start coming in Thursday night. So they just say you're out. I know you paid for your parking pass. We don't care. You're out.
6 days, you're out.
Yep. Yeah. So you're out at Thursday at noon, so people can come in and start dropping stuff off, and they stay in their motorhomes all weekend and all that. But I always thought that if you can get that down there and get that parking lot shut down a little early and get the students out of there, then I think it would actually help tailgating atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah.
But I understand the other side of it too. The students pay for a parking pass and they have class. But.
Yeah. Ashley Jones says, I'm leaving work early that day. So see, folks are going to be leaving work early that day. And it is what it is. 3:30, you deal with, it's not ideal. And I get it. But if you really want to watch in Boise, Idaho, I think most people, unless you're like a doctor or, some of these jobs of fire, people there's, police officer that's on duty out, there's some jobs where, we get it. You physically can't be, you can't be watching, but at most desk jobs or things like that, you're either going to get off early or, like you said, find a way to get it on your phone.
And people have it on TVs and bars and all that, so they'll get their ratings.
Well, hopefully they're going to be at Uncle Bob's Pizza joining us. Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. We'll have our watch party there. Looking forward to that. That'll be Thursday, 3:30, Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. Join us. We're going to have pizza, half off alcohol that day as well. It's going to be a fun time at Uncle Bob's. And they've got, speaking of kids, they've got a little arcade there for kids. So bring some quarters and your kids can go play in the arcade and you can watch the game. And they've got great pizza and food for the kids as well. And then we'll have the post-game show there as well after the game. So Luis Soto, I have Thursdays off, so I'll be at Uncle Bob's with friends watching the game. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. Abe, we look forward to seeing you, Luis. And if you're a paying subscriber of BNN, your first drink is on us. So looking forward to, that's how I do it. I wait till the day it's half off already, and then I say I'll buy your first beer if you're a subscriber.
Good
advertising. Makes sense, right? AP says he gets off at 3, and he'll be doing 60 all the way home to get home by 3:30. As long as you're on the highway where it's at least 70 or 80, then we're good.
It's true.
Yeah. If you got a question or comment for Brad, get that in the chat here. Brad, you wanted to go through Boise State's schedule and talk about maybe some potential trap falls as the over-under here in Las Vegas is 10. We were going to touch on that. If you have any other questions, comments for Brad or for myself on the team, on the season, on what the depth chart might look like tomorrow, feel free to get that in the ICCU YouTube chat. But I do want to thank a couple of our sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on YouTube. And that includes rowpaint.com, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and Company, rowpaint.com. Hit them up for all your painting needs, those concrete coatings, interior, exterior paintings. Our title sponsors, Andy Rowe and rowpaint.com. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, they've now got 7 student athletes on NIL deals. Look look at that great photo there. You got Pearson Carmichael, obviously some football players as well. So ICCU, I saw they have a banner going up outside the stadium now as well. So nice to see our sponsors back in the fold there at Boise State as part of Learfield now and as an official sponsor, and now having some NIL deals. So you already knew they were the best, but now they're backing it up even more financially. So make the switch today. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. Taco Bell, they're hiring. Get more information, TacoBellWorks.com, and find a location near you, and just visit one of their 20-plus Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. And my kids, it's Friday, and my kids have a pitching lesson tonight, so they'll be going for the cheesy roll-ups and the slushies, and I just love Taco Bell. The Cantina Bowl, Brad, is my keto option here. You get to sub out the rice and beans for the lettuce, and you're eating nice, healthy dinner there. So they got something for everybody. That's our friends at Taco Bell. Hey, make sure you go get those trading cards over at Jackson's. 3 per household is the limit right now, but they should be showing up in the various locations. They should already be there. If not, they'll be there today, this weekend. Jackson's has those trading cards. And don't forget, starting next week, the Breezy Bundle. $1 if Breezy Bundle gets a touchdown. You get a hot dog and a soda. And for Latrell Caples, when Latrell scores, Jackson's pours 49-cent soft drink when Latrell Caples gets in the end zone. So hopefully both of those are happening next Thursday down there at South Florida. TheSpaTeam.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Rain's family. We've got a spa in the backyard from Snake River Pool and Spa. Loving every second of it. You guys can as well. Whether it's a pool table, like I said, a dartboard, they got it all. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game. And you can check out all their different locations and their various locations, including the 4 that are there on the screen. And I do want to throw in a plug for our friends at the Blue and Orange store. They now have you been down, Brad, to the new Blue and Orange store down there at the Hall of Fame yet?
I haven't been able to get there.
You're missing out there. It's an awesome spot. It's going to be on game day. Anyone that's going to visit the Blue, what I think is really cool now is they have shirts that say, I saw the Blue, I visited the Blue, merchandise specifically about seeing the blue turf. So if you're one of the hundreds of thousands of people from all these various countries and states that come check out the Blue every day that they have, well, you now can commemorate that with a shirt there that says, I visited the Blue. They've got that at the Hall of Fame right there, the new Blue and Orange store location, and they've got various options and shirts. And of course, you can always go to their location at the mall, or you can order online anywhere in the world, online at the blueandorange.store.com. And Lithia Ford of Boise, you want to thank them as well. Latrell Caples is everywhere, by the way. Latrell Caples is doing nice with the NIL deals, and he's got a vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise. I believe a Ford Ranger is what they've got him in right now. So Lithia Ford of Boise, they're stepping up their game with NIL deals, and they're helping out support local student athletes at Boise State. So if you want to return the favor to one of the biggest supporters, that's Jim Sturk and company. I know, Brad, he had you in a vehicle back in the day when you were coaching here, and I think you're still driving a Lithia Ford Boise vehicle. So appreciate Jim Sturk and company and Lithia Ford of Boise. You can check them out online at LithiaFordBoise.com. All right, Brad, the questions are rolling in here on
Shoot.
By the way, Ashley Jones says she got a signed Latrell Caples card in one of her packs. So
nice.
Awesome. All right, so let's see here. They're still talking about the gambling debate in there. Let's see what we got here. Yes, we'll call city roads the highway is what AP said for going 60 on city roads. But all right, this is an interesting topic that I talked about at media days with a lot of coaches and players.
Okay,
the last year in the Mountain West, you've got 5 schools leaving. You've got the animosity amongst fan bases. If you're in New Mexico, you feel like you're getting left behind. A Wyoming, you're getting left behind. You see them going to a bigger, better conference in football, and you realize you're losing to Boise State, a San Diego State. Some of your big brands in the conference are leaving you.
Agreed. Probably
a little worried about what the future is of your conference and your money and everything else, and you're kind of feeling a little bit like dang, we got left here, and it's not looking good. And you have the other schools, and you can argue how much better it really is, but if you're Wyoming and New Mexico and these schools, you'd much rather be in a league with Boise State and San Diego State and these schools than not. You have that going on. And Matthew says, Brad, how do you think the vibe will be in the Mountain West this year for Boise State? Since this is their last year, do you think the other players of other schools will care? I don't know if the players necessarily will care. The coaches, I mean, they obviously have a job, and they know that they're money for the conference and how their team does, and all that plays into it. So maybe a little bit, the coaches are a little bummed probably that some of these teams are leaving. But in the stands, I think in basketball where the fans are more on top of the court and stuff, I think basketball could have, especially at places like New Mexico and some of these where they have big basketball environments, you get some schools going in there that are leaving. I think you could have a little more tension or animosity or bigger crowds, I think, on the basketball side. But football, what do you make of just this big cloud kind of, and you've got the lawsuits going on back and forth between, and that's more of an athletic director conference, high thing. You're not in the stands worrying about, our school's suing your school or whatever. But just this whole storyline of this conference breaking up or at least changing after this year. What's your take on that?
I don't think the fans, they're still going to have that stupid sign that says Boise's not a state. Okay. And so it doesn't, the fans, I think anywhere you go, when you're Boise State and you're going to the other people's house, there's always animosity because they think Boise State is, Boise State, they always say, you guys get anything you want. You guys get anything you want, which is true. I mean, look at the television contracts in the past and all that. I agree with you. Let's play a little conspiracy theory. I'm interested to see what the officiating is going to look like. That's what I want to know.
I would argue against that for one reason,
okay,
and that is that if a Boise State makes the college football playoff this year, the Mountain West gets all that money.
I agree with you. There's some sin, but
if they want to screw Boise State and let UNLV get to the, UNLV, I mean,
staying in the conference,
if they can get them to the playoff, maybe. But
right, look at the SEC. Look at the officiating in the SEC when it gets later in the year, and you see Georgia or Alabama, they got the road into getting into the playoff.
Okay.
They can't lose, right? It's interesting what the officiating goes to because they got to get them in. We played Georgia State at Auburn. John Samuel Shanker dropped the ball, and it was clear as day. And if we lose that game, we would have been gone a lot earlier than we were. That's just a fact. He dropped that ball. They called it a catch. It was SEC officiating. Okay. I want to know. I want to see how this is going to play out if Boise State is the clear leader, there's no doubt they're going to be the champion. They're going to get the auto bid and all that. But if it's down to UNLV and they have the same record and they're going into that championship game and the winner's going.
So in a potential championship game like it was last year, where whoever won was pretty much if UNLV would have upset Boise State on the blue, they would have made the playoff last year.
Correct.
As the 12 seed.
Correct.
So if that's a similar scenario this year it's a close game, you could see
I'm very intrigued.
What do you guys think? You think that
that's
Mountain West would
theory.
mess with the officiating at all to help out one of their teams that's thing? I don't know if they would.
I don't know if they would either. But
I don't think they would if it meant, like I said, because they're going to get a lot of they benefit.
I think it's a fun argument
because what I would say is if they wanted to screw Boise State, they could have already done that with the schedule. And if you look at the schedule this year, Boise State gets UNLV at home, they get Fresno at home, they get Colorado State at home. They don't have to go to Wyoming. They do go to Air Force, but most of their quote unquote. Like I think three of the top four, top of the three other teams ranked in the top three in the preseason poll, they get all of them at home.
Good point.
And I would say, and again, but there's 5 teams leaving. You can't job them all. When you got San Diego State's leaving, Utah State's leaving. I mean,
Colorado State's ass. We know that.
Yeah.
Utah State is butt cheeks. Okay, all that stuff. That's perfectly fine. Boise State is the premier brand in this conference, and they're going to be the premier brand in the Pac conference. Oregon State, I get it. You're an old school Pac-12 Washington State. You do not have the brand a Boise State has. You don't have the brand. Boise State is a national brand, and they've done a very good job of playing in the South, playing in Florida to extend the brand. Don't tell me that you can't compare brands, and that's my only thing about this whole thing. You're leaving your top brand. And it's very clear that there's some animosity between the Mountain West and Boise State just in this negotiation of the buyouts.
Yeah, there's lawsuits.
There's lawsuits.
Yeah.
So don't tell me the Mountain West is saying, oh, it's okay, Boise State's leaving. Obviously, it's not okay. Obviously, you're pretty pissed because the arguments and what you're trying to do to Boise State Athletic to pay this obscene amount of money to get out. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm only because if it comes down to Boise State and UNLV, which I think it will, right?
So you're talking more of a championship game scenario.
Correct.
You don't see the regular season wanting them to lose 5 games or whatever.
No. Boise State's not going to lose 5 games.
If the conference can still benefit by somebody else winning, they would choose that.
I think, in all likelihood, I think they would love to have a Mountain West team that's staying in the Mountain West win the Mountain West championship on the final year.
They don't want that image of Boise State holding up the trophy on their way out the door.
Exactly.
But if that means Boise State's going back to the playoff and they're getting the $8 million or whatever for that, then the conference certainly likes that.
The conference will like that because let's say UNLV is going to the championship game with 3 losses.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, if they're not in, if Tulane or somebody else already has it,
correct.
You need Boise State to win.
You have to have Boise State to win that game to get the money.
Luis Soto says, "I would rather have UNLV and Nevada in the pack than Utah State and Colorado State."
I completely agree with him. We all know.
Would you have taken Nevada to get UNLV? Some people say, "Oh, Nevada has no business being in this league. Forget them." But if it was a package deal and you could have UNLV, but you had to take Nevada, you'd do that?
Yeah, I mean, they took Utah State
after the initial wave where they struck out at first on Air Force and UNLV, or I don't know if they wanted Air Force, but they missed out on UNLV the first time,
right?
And they took the first 4.
But right then and there, if you struck out on UNLV, knowing that they came out and says, "Hey, UNLV is allowed to go with Nevada," why wouldn't you just take them both?
Which there was some reports we don't know how true that actually is. If the state, by the way, we need to up our game for next year. Do you hear that cheering going on back there?
Yeah.
That's the Hog station in Milwaukee, I think. Okay, they've got. I'm just telling you what they're. I'm just telling you what their name is. All right, something 92, whatever, the Hog in wherever town they're in. They have like 5 rows of seats, and they had fans next time all of our fans, we need to set up some tables and chairs here and have they have a stage and an audience over there for their show. They had 20 something people all come out and they're all like a small cheering and watching their show. Small. That's what?
Cool. Look at the small college game day.
Yeah, it is. They have their own little set over there. And so we need to make they have 5 rows of seats and they're all just sitting there listening to the show and watching. So
awesome.
All of our crew's already either still hungover or at the pool already. And Carrie came by, but next year we got to get a little more of a, viewing audience here. Let's get some more people out here.
Let's go. I agree with you.
I can hear them cheering back there.
Yeah, but to go back, you take both. You leave Utah State out, in my opinion. What does Utah State do for you?
Well, it's a game that's drivable for Boise State fans. I don't know if you necessarily call them a rival, but I mean it's a regional game. It's a game for basketball and football that's within 4 or 5 hour drive. Okay. I mean, Reno is about 6. I mean, it's a little further, but I guess if you had Nevada over you, I mean, some people would say they just dislike Reno. They just dislike Nevada. They would say, well, I don't want anything to do with them. Leave them and it's far back. If you're a diehard Boise, I'm just throwing this out there. If you're a diehard Boise State fan and you have hatred towards Nevada, part of you says, I don't want anything to do with them. We're better than them. Leave them in that crappy conference. We're moving on. Screw them. But if you're saying it's literally UNLV, if it's literally Nevada or Utah State, if you're just looking at it from an athletic standpoint, from a whatever else, I don't think there's much of a difference.
But Nevada used to be a huge rivalry,
and you'd like to have that.
You'd like to have that,
yeah.
I mean, now I want to know Fresno, right, with the milk jug and all that, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't think Utah State brings anything, and
you're not a believer that Bronco Mendenhall is going to get a turnaround.
No, I think he's going to do well.
Okay,
but I just don't think they have TV. They don't have all of that, where UNLV brings a lot to the table in that area. And I think if you got to have them both, you take them both. I would rather have UNLV and Nevada than Utah State and Colorado State. I think Colorado State can go down to the FCS.
Colorado State, you and Mike Prater agree on something, by the way. He's not a big Colorado State guy either. They have a brand new football stadium. It's a beautiful town. It's only an hour from Denver. I mean, there is some appeal to Colorado State. I mean, Colorado State was, one of the teams applying for the Big 12 and stuff, several years ago. I mean, people feel like that's a school that you could buy on, I guess, or buy low on, I guess, as a Colorado State. But I see what you're saying.
The stadium's really
Where'd you go to school at, by the way?
Colorado.
Okay. Just checking.
And hey, for the record, everybody wants to look it up. I'll tell you right now, Colorado State beat our ass my senior year.
Did they? Where at?
In Mile High.
Wow.
They beat us bad.
Who was their quarterback?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot. Clark Hagan's defensive end had a fumble recovery touchdown.
He got by you?
No.
Oh.
No, I gave up pressure earlier in the game that didn't help our situation.
Okay. All right. Are those? Are you like a coach in terms of the wins and losses as a player, where you remember those you remember the block you missed more than the great block you had, probably?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, trust me, I could tell you everything. I can tell you.
You were
hashes.
recalling a couple last night. We were.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, I gave up pressure on the left hash in the -15 versus Nebraska, and we were in a 2-minute drill to win the game. I could tell you, yeah. I know those, the good ones are like great. The bad ones, they stick in your crawl.
And speaking of blocks, did you see Cage Casey is going to be donating $300 to the Idaho Rescue Mission for every pancake block he has this year? I don't know how many pancake blocks can you get in a season here? What's a typical?
I think he's going to have he should have easily in the 40s.
40.
For how dominant I think he's going to be.
And how does that this is
it's how it's
this
gauged.
is a dumb question, but who's actually deciding whether it's a pancake block? What's the official?
I always judged it. Coach Keene will judge it, or if Cage judges it, he's got to put him on his back, and that's actually really cool.
$300 per pancake block. Him and his wife, Kirsten, played volleyball at Boise State.
Yep.
They are donating to the Boise Rescue Mission every pancake block, and I believe there's ways others can also help
that's awesome.
Match it or put it up there. But another cool way that you can use NIL to get your name out there to support the Boise
community.
Rescue Mission and pancake block. So you're saying is that what, 2 to 3 a game or what's
2 to 3 a game for him, depending on what they're doing, game plan wise. But yeah, there's no doubt he should have 2-3 game. Dominant pancake blocks. I would be shocked if he didn't have 2 or 3 or 5 a game.
How are you feeling about this offensive line going into the season here? There's been a couple guys in and out. Spencer's said it publicly that there's been, some guys banged up. And so it's kind of hard to fully know what this group's going to look like week 1. I don't think there's going to be a ton of surprises. I mean, I will say Hull Schmidt, we were told, and he started, I think, 11 games at right tackle last year. We were told going into camp that he'd be limited to start. And I don't know, unless it's happened in the last day or two, I don't remember seeing him once doing, as a quote full participant in like the open periods that we've seen.
Okay.
So he is coming along slow. I would be, based on what I've seen, and like I don't think we're saying anything we shouldn't, because during the open periods of practice that we're allowed to report on, he has not been out there much at all. Lately, he came back some, but I don't even think he had the pants on there wearing the day, and you could see that in the videos. I don't think he was wearing full pads when the rest of the team was, but he was starting to do some stuff. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know if he's going to be ready.
Right.
Daylon Matoyer, number 75, I know you like him, and he graded out pretty well, I believe, last year, actually, in less action than him. Mason Randolph, Roger Carrion, 2 guys that missed a lot of time last year. Have been in and out a little bit during camp this year, whether that's maintenance stuff or whether that's, who knows what that is. But those guys are 2 very important pieces. You've got Cage Casey, who's just been your guy we've seen out there every drill, every period. That's just going to be your rock guy. And then you've got to figure out that one other spot. And the Steele brother has been working there. I know Tyler Kyneth, another guy who got a lot of action last year once Roger went down.
Correct.
He also is limited to start camp, but he has been back. In our projected depth chart, I think we have him listed as the number 2 behind Steele right now. But I always get the Steele brothers mixed up if it's Jake or Jason. I'm once again
both of them have played a lot, right?
I could just look at the depth chart we put up and let you know here and tell you who it is. But it is Jason Steele.
Yeah,
Jason Steele is who we project. Jason Steele. We have Tyler Kyneth, but I think Jason Steele has been taking advantage of
his opportunity,
the extra time with Tyler Kyneth being out, and by all accounts, has done a pretty nice job.
Good,
but overall,
I don't like all the bang up talk. But this group did play a lot, right? So you've had coming back, I think 13 players had a game experience, right?
Yeah, I think 9 had starting experience,
right? So
8 or 9,
that makes you feel really good. I think the O line is going to be dominant. This going into, and we can talk, obviously later this week about the South Florida game, but as a whole, the experience and everything in this offensive line, I think the expectations are high, which I would agree with. I think they can be dominant, especially when you get into conference play. I think they're going to be tested early with South Florida, and I think they'll be tested at Notre Dame. When you get in conference, this offensive line, even go back to last season, has shown they will be the dominant offensive line in the Mountain West Conference. Now, the tailback helped you a lot last year. Okay. I think the stable is rich and they're good. So I have high expectations this offensive line will become dominant in the conference.
I know you're a Tim Keene guy.
Oh, I think Tim Keene's done an unbelievable job. I think he's done a great job. I think this whole staff's done a great job.
What's the biggest? I know you always joke about like fans getting on you or whatever. What's the biggest misnomer or thing that fans don't necessarily understand about the O-line or the O-line position or the O-line coach? Where it looks like there's 11 guys on the field, and when the coverage gets blown, it's just instantly the O-line. Let's fire the O-line coach.
Sure.
But what I know there's so much more to it than that. But what do you think's one thing that these fans don't necessarily? And I'm not trying to say to defend yourself or whatever. I'm just saying big picture wise, when an average football fan watches a game, what's something either offensively or offensive line wise that they maybe don't necessarily realize that there's more to it than they see?
Protections, because it's how many you got, right? So if you're an empty protection and you got 5 offensive linemen, they can only block 5 of them. They bring one more, he's going unblocked. It's like, or the protection breaks down because the wide receiver ran the wrong route, right? And so now that quarterback's gonna have to squeeze to hold the ball a little bit. So I think that's a part of it. I think when you're just looking at the protection as a whole, it's like, well, that guy got by. Well, I know he got by him, or he got to the quarterback. But why did he get the quarterback? Well, because the running back didn't drive back because they brought 4 from the side. Okay, the O-line can only block 3 of those. If you bring another one, the running back's going to have to drive back and pick up the 4th rusher or the 4th, blitzer. So it's that type of thing, and it's but. When you're the offensive line coach, you got to live on the sword and die by the sword. And trust me, there's some things that we made mistakes on. Sometimes the fans are 100% right. The left guard got whooped, right? Or the center did not. The twist, Florida State, that got Hank smoked. The center, Garrett, did not come off the defensive tackle. That's what happened, right? That is on the center. That is on the offensive line. That's not a scheme issue. He just didn't come off fast enough for the looper. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But some of those things, if you're bringing 6, especially the Florida States, the Notre Dames, that really like their athletes and they're going to play cover 1 man and bring the pressure, if you don't have enough bodies to block them, somebody's getting free and you got to get rid of the ball. It's like the quarterback for there's a big debate on Twitter. I'm sure you saw it when the quarterback got smoked. They brought there was a empty protection, the right tackle pinned down because they brought the inside linebacker. Defensive end came and smoked him where he had to get rid of the ball and throw into the pressure, and it's a touchdown. He just didn't see it. It's not on the offensive line. That's a scheme issue. That's the way that was coached to do it. Quarterback held onto the ball, didn't throw into the pressure, and he got smoked. That's the way it is.
I feel like it's kind of a no-win situation for an O-line. It's just really hard to anything that goes wrong, it's their fault. And when it's great protection, it's what a great throw or whatever else. It's not necessarily there's people that absolutely disdain me at Boise. That's fine. I can give a rat's ass. And I've went to Twitter and things like that and said, okay, cool. Let's just talk football these times. It doesn't matter. You're passionate. You still when you're at the grocery store and you're like in the, bread aisle, people still say, "Oh, you suck, Bedell."
No, okay. They don't tell me. Okay. They'll just put it on Twitter. Usually when people see me in person, they're like, okay, I don't think we're going to say much.
That's probably a smart call.
Right.
Ask the guy last year when you stood up after the split in 10.
But I don't, it is what it is. I think it's awesome. It's your job. You're in the limelight. It's your job to get them better. If I made a mistake or something, I'm the first one. Hey, we messed it up as offensive line. I remember the interview we did after we gave up a bunch of sacks. Okay. And we got to get it fixed. It's my job to fix it. Either get it fixed or I'm going to get fired. That's the way it is. So thank God we won a championship and we got it fixed for the most part.
Yeah.
But you have to own up to those things. And some of it is on the offensive line. Some of it is not. And you got to own up to the mistakes that you made.
Tequila Gus is wanting to know here, during the Hank era, all the sacks and all the hits he took, how much of that was O-line issues versus Hank holding onto the ball too long?
I think it's probably, if I had to give it a percentage, it was probably, got to include the running back because I had to do a whole study at the bye. It was actually between the running back, it was probably 50-50 between the running back, the quarterback, and the O-line. Now, when they came out and we had to single up all the blocks, we got beat interiorly. So we gave up 3 sacks interiorly on a twist or different situations that were on us. So 3 of those sacks at Florida State were completely on me in the offensive line.
But Hank was a guy that liked to he was tough and didn't mind getting hit, and he would hang in there a little longer than some quarterbacks.
I love Hank, but I went to him in that game. I said, Hank, you got to get rid of the ball in our empty protection. He goes, I love being hit. I said, well, I like my job. I mean, Hank, I'll tell you what, Hank is an unbelievable competitor. Hank, it's like almost he was in a trance, and then when he got hit for the first time, it was like the game slowed down. He's an anomaly. It's like when you're playing with Favre and you're in base protection, and like it didn't matter the call. He immediately sent the offensive line to his blind side and said, hey, I want to see anything in my face. I do not want to get hit in the back of the head. So that was Favre's deal. He goes, nope, go here. And then that's what his thing was. But, like I said, the 3 sacks at Florida State, that was completely on us as an offensive line and me as the coach.
George says Brad is right. Luis wanting to know about how does Boise State contain the QB for USF? We talked about yesterday the running ability, 800 rushing yards 2 years ago. Last year against Alabama, he rushed for over 100 yards against Alabama last year, and they were hanging around in that game for 3 quarters due to his kind of mobility there. Is it something that you try to make him one-dimensional, and with the pressure of our D-line can make him throw some bad throws, interceptions, or a mobile dual threat quarterback? What is the way to limit him?
I think first of all, the game planning, you got to go all the way back to where he played all the games, right? And how did he get? Were they playing man behind it? And when everybody's covered, who's not? The quarterback. And when you're playing man and you're running go routes, the DBs, everybody's turning away from him. So you squeak out. It's a little bit. Last year, the Washington State quarterback, very mobile.
Mateer.
He could run, flat out run.
Speaking of gambling, besides little Mateer's thing.
Yeah. But I think you got to go back to that kind of game plan, and they did a great job keeping him in the pocket. But I haven't watched when he was playing. Is it zone read? Is it power read? Do they have a quarterback run game system? But the other thing is he is coming off an injury, and you got him week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So now I think you make him one-dimensional. His completion percentage has not been. Some games it was very iffy last year.
In the Alabama game, I think he rushed for 103, but I think he only passed for 108 or something.
Right. So you got to keep him one-dimensional. I agree with him. And you got to pay attention to him on 1st and 10 if they're doing a lot of read and run games, design runs, and then on 3rd and long, don't let him extend drives with his legs and create first downs.
BSU Bill says Chenander has a pretty good track record of dialing up pressures to confuse mobile quarterbacks. Mateer, Williams at UNLV, etc. We put those dudes in a blender.
I agree. Even go back to Central Florida. He faced a lot of that. That conference has got a lot of mobile quarterbacks. So coach does a great job with running quarterbacks, right? He can go opposite. And we can talk about later. I mean, the DBs, I don't think the backfield's been proven yet. They've gave up a lot of big plays last year.
Yeah, okay.
So now I think he does a great job there. They got to get the pass defense shored up.
If you have a question or a comment for Brad, I do want to get to Brad's. It sounds like that's going to be it. His biggest concern maybe and his biggest strength on this team moving forward here. But if you have another question, Boise State related, college football related, we got some people in the chat are now off the rails arguing about gambling turning into other stuff, and let's get the conversation back on football here on the ICCU YouTube chat. It's kind of a Friday morning going off the rails. I'll just leave it at that. So I'm not commenting on it. I'm not bringing it up, but let's get the focus in the chat back on football here before we start. I got a little button over here. It says ban and kick out, and I can do that pretty easily. So if you keep clogging up the chat, you gone. See ya. So
let's talk sports. Let's not get into politics.
Yes. It's going down the wrong road. It looks like.
Respect everybody's views.
So if you got a question or comment for Brad, we'd love to get that going here. We're just hanging out at Circa Resort and Casino, and as we said yesterday, Brad, every second that we're here talking is one less potential second we're losing money at the blackjack tables.
I would agree.
We're having fun today and excited to be talking with you guys. But I do want to thank a couple more sponsors real quick while you get your questions in for Brad. Bousher Real Estate, Matt Bousher, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. Matt Bousher helped sell our home. We bought our home using Matt. Tremendous customer service. Kelly, the whole staff did it every step of the way. And Matt's not going to just pawn you off to somebody else. He'll come out there. He'll be there. And just love Matt. Love Matt and his team as Brad Bedell gets up to go use the restroom. So we appreciate Bauscher Real Estate and Matt Bauscher. And again, Bauscher Real Estate, BauscherRealEstate.com. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridley's.com. Locations in 13 states across the state of Idaho, surrounding states, whether it's the McCall location. They got Magic Valley, Treasure Valley. Download their Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Ridley's Family Markets online at shopridleys.com. Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. You want to get into the trucking industry? Maybe you need a job, not sure what direction to go? Well, they can help you out. Trucking industry, all the paperwork, DOT, overweight, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. They're a local company helping out folks all over the world online at Transportation Compliance Service. Hey, Signature Roofing. And again, get those comments, those questions in for Brad Bedell. We're just hanging out at Circa Resort and Casino, and we got nowhere to go and nothing else to do. So we're just talking sports, talking whatever with you guys, gambling, sports, whatever you got. Mountain West, games tomorrow, Boise State, South Florida game. Let us know. And we'll get to that in the ICCU YouTube chat here momentarily. But you can also leave us a voicemail. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox line. And we'll get to that on the post-game show, pre-game show, whatever you got. Signature Roofing is a sponsor of that, so leave it to us on speakpipe.com/BNN. And Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection. We got you covered online. Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. And we appreciate Signature Roofing for their support of Bronco Nation News. And I do want to remind folks that we will be out at Uncle Bob's Pizza on Thursday. Make plans now. Join us. 3:30 kickoff. Half price alcohol. We hope you'll join us. Great pizza. If you haven't been out there, it's tremendous pizza, tremendous stuff. Uncle Bob's Pizza. And we'll have a live halftime show and a live post-game show. And hopefully that halftime show is going to be, a lot of folks cheering in the background if Boise State's doing well. So speak to your friends. Get them to come out. Tell everybody Uncle Bob's Pizza. Talk to your boss, get the half day, get off work, and come hang out with Michael Callahan, with Nathan Carroll, Chris Van Sickle. You can watch the game at Uncle Bob's. They're going to raffle off a couple gift cards to take care of your tab. So maybe you'll be a lucky one and get your meal for free there. So, and if you are a paying subscriber to BNN, we'll take care of your first beverage there. Show us that you're a paid subscriber, and your first beer's on us. That is at Uncle Bob's Pizza. We will see you guys next Thursday for that. What am I supposed to remind folks about the sports gambling? I didn't see your text all the way.
No.
Oh, I thought someone said to remind me of something on the for the Indian kid. Oh,
no.
Oh, all right. Sorry, I thought that's what you were showing me.
No, we're done on the sports gambling deal.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here.
What is it?
This one was great at about 10 p.m. last night, maybe versus this morning. What's Brad's take on the Andy Avalos era, and what did Avalos do wrong? What are you willing to say on that, Brad Bedell? If anybody,
you know what? Here we go. I'll say this. Kind of like with Coach Harsin, and I was on the staff at Auburn. It didn't work. It just didn't fit. Right? Something went wrong. Something went haywire down the road at Auburn. Remember, guys, I wasn't a part of the Andy staff, so I didn't know what was going on inside the building. So I can't talk about that. And nor, to be quite honest with you, I know I said I was open book. There's some things I'm going to say and I'm not going to say about that.
Or you can, yeah.
I mean, I was in Andy's wedding. It didn't work. Things changed along the way, and there was some coaching changes. All that it didn't work, and he moved on.
And I think anybody that knows, we know, not to dive into those coaching changes, but a Winston Venable, a Kent Riddle, some of these guys that have been around a long time and are big parts of this program, no longer being there. And the reasoning may not necessarily jiving with what actually happened. I know that's something that
reasoning was bullshit. That's what I'll say.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I get a little fired up with Rid because I'm very close to Rid. So.
Yes. And he's a heck of a coach, and didn't get nearly the send off that he deserved.
No.
We'll just maybe unfortunately leave it at that.
Yeah.
But you can read into that how you like.
Yeah, it didn't work.
That is the way it is sometimes. It doesn't work. Some guy, and that I hate to say it, but that's one of the reasons I think there was some at times questions in Kellen Moore's mind. 2 times he's had a chance. If he wanted this job, he could have had it, I think. Sure, and I think you're the all-time, Andy Avalos say what you want to about him as a coach, as a whatever. He was one of the greatest players at linebacker in the history of this school.
There's no doubt.
And he is not going to be able to come back to the alumni functions, to the spring game, whatever, and have the same reception that he probably deserves. And I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame or if he would have been in the Boise State Hall of Fame as a player. And maybe he has that moment 10 years from now where everyone cheers for him and you can move past it or whatever. But the way it ended, getting fired midway through the season, it was toxic in the locker room. I think it's fair to say in some cases.
Yeah, I was never in there, so you did interviews.
Maybe that's the wrong word to say, but it was not not everybody was crying when he left. Well, I think that's fair to say. I mean, there were some people that were. I think some players were. A change was welcomed. I think by a lot of people.
Really?
I mean, I think that's. I mean, I don't think that's any breaking news in there. I mean, it was a tough go for him in the locker room, outside the locker room, with everybody. It just didn't work. And but he is
defensively. He's one of, if he's top 2 of the smartest.
Yeah, it just didn't work. It just wasn't a great fit. Some people are better head coaches. Some people are better assistant coaches. Some people are better players than I mean, he was when he got hired, I remember thinking this is like the most perfect hire ever. When he got the job, like from the outside, he was a great player here, was a great defensive coordinator here. He was a young guy, up and coming, had his experience at Oregon, and everybody thought this is the perfect hire. And it just didn't work out.
It just didn't work. And that's why I think a lot of people were very hesitant about Spencer. Same thing. Defensive coordinator, interim, did well, but once he gets the reins, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
It's worked. You know what I mean? It's like that worked. Something happened. It went haywire. I don't know what else to say about it.
So I do feel bad in that instance that he is never going to be seen here by some people again the same way he should have as a player, because of how it went down as a coach.
But you have to separate those two. For what he,
I agree.
For what he did as a player that's something special too, right? So I personally don't think as a player with Andy Avalos, he should be welcomed back here with open arms and a big old hug, because of what he's done for Boise State defensively as a linebacker. You have to separate the coaching out of it, because he's alumni. You see, everybody wants to say the Bronco Nation's a family. Well, Andy Avalos is a part of that family as a player.
Sure. And it's probably easier for fans right now to quote unquote welcome him back because of the program's in pretty good hands with Spencer. The program's going well. It's great. It's like, but I'm saying that is why Kellen Moore, I think, and obviously he's an NFL head coach. He had bigger goals. He knew what he was about to do.
Sure.
I get it. But there was a small part where if Kellen Moore doesn't go 11-1, he could run for governor right now, 50-3, whatever. He has 1 or 2 8-4 years, and his reputation's changing too. So I mean, it's that legendary player coming back as a coach.
It does not always work.
Scott Frost. I mean, you have all these guys. I mean, you can go down the line at places where it just didn't always work, and so it didn't work out for whatever reason. Not going to crap on the guy all day. I mean, it didn't work out, and he's still at TCU.
Yeah, he's coordinator at TCU.
And hopefully it goes well for him there. And I got nothing. He didn't have the greatest relationship with the media, but again, that just sometimes happens. Not every coach is, every coach is great with the media. It is what it is, and so I don't root for the guy to fail or anything. His dad said some stuff on Facebook ripping BNN and our stooges or whatever when he got fired, is that we were saying we had to do with him getting fired or whatever, because
you made that decision.
I made what decision?
You made the decision to fire Andy Avalos.
Yeah. And the Stooges, I think, he was talking about, you and Bedell and Rid and I think Mike Sanford, all the former coaches, and somehow that, I don't know. But again, it is what it is. Didn't work out. Wish him the best of luck. And that was a tough. I think you could write a great book about that era, or good. There's a lot of behind the scenes stories and things about things that went on, and we've talked about it. But the I don't even know if guts is the right word, but I think it is. It was fairly gutsy at the time when Jeremiah Dickey decided to make the coaching change. They were coming off like a 40-point win, and they absolutely blew out New Mexico. Yeah. He had already made the decision before the game, but I mean, it was kind of, I don't want to say spiraling out of control, but the season was on the brink, so to speak. Yeah. And a lot of players, my understanding, were going to hit the portal if he'd have left. There was just or if he hadn't been, if he'd stayed, there was just a lot of players thinking about their futures and things, and it wasn't going great, and they make the change and they win the Mountain West and everybody stay. And like I said, how often I was at Goldie's or somewhere having breakfast on that Sunday morning, and they had just won by 40 points, and all of a sudden you're seeing the Pete Thamel tweet and all that Andy Avalos has been fired, and you're like, wait, what? Like, oh my God, like
nobody gets fired out of here.
No, and you thought it could be I think, and we all thought maybe end of the season if it's not going well, but I didn't even think. I mean, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, this is year 3. It's not going great," but I even thought like they're not going to do it yet. It's only year 3. Like they have a lot of money invested in him. He's this great. Like it's 3 years is too quick. And then middle of the season to pull the trigger, and obviously Jeremiah felt it in his gut, his heart, that he had to make the change, and whether they were going to lose players or boosters or whatever else. I mean, he obviously had heard some things and decided he needed to make a change, and it worked out for the best.
And I've always backed up what I've always said, right? Remember, that was the game Mike Sanford did the chaos flag. So we did the post game at the James. It was a late one. And remember when Sanford said, okay, what coaches are in trouble? And we said, well, San Diego State's fired. He was fired. New Mexico, fired. He was fired. And then I said it. I said, hey, if Andy, this is a good win. I think if Andy needs to win out, or I think he's in trouble. I said it. I own what I said that night. I think probably that's part of the Stooges thing, right? Because I said that. I never would have thought I would wake up. Well, I felt horrible. Well, that's
we closed down the James that night. We were on the air till about 2 a.m.
Oh, that's the night that
go back and rewatch that show. Yeah, that was
the guy said something to you, and then
was that the same night? It might have been. Yeah,
I got really upset.
A previous player's parent didn't like my coverage of him and wanted to fight me, and Brad stood up and
that one fired me up.
Said, why don't you head on out of here, or I'll help you get out of here.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, those things don't make sense to me. But anyways, like I said, guys, some things don't work. But I will say this. Andy Avalos is a linebacker at Boise State. He wants to come back. You let him back. You hug him, and you take the other stuff out of it.
Tim Plow getting some love here in the chat as well, and that was another unfortunate way that all went down. That was Tim Plow kind of got seen as this horrible coach and all of that. And he says the biggest winner of Avalos getting fired was vindication for Tim Plow. He got hung out to dry, and maybe a lot of people have. And at the beginning of it, a lot of it was us, and people are you're just covering for him because he was a nice guy, whatever. Tim Plow was a terrible coach, whatever. But that's another thing that a lot of people will never know the depths of that. And that was a tough match there. And as you said, that also happens sometimes. Assistant coaches and their style and what they want to do doesn't mesh with the head coach. Typically, that's something in terms of if a coach is going to be heavily involved in what he wants them to do. That's typically something that's talked about in the hiring process or in the interview process, but sometimes a coach has his way of doing it, and that doesn't necessarily match up with the head coach.
They have to match because whatever you think, whatever your brand of football wants to be, right? So Tim Plow is a very fast go offense, like Baylor type thing. That puts a lot of stress on your defense. Your defense is going to play a lot of snaps because there's no long 10-play drives like a huddle system, like Dirk Cutter's offense. So when Dirk took over, they kind of transformed into what he wanted to do. Tim Plow gets let go. He then goes to Cal to be a tight ends coach, and now he's a head coach at UC Davis, and he went to the quarters.
Yes, Bill says they're absolutely killing it at UC Davis, averaging 40 points a game.
He is a very good football coach,
and from all accounts, a very good man too, and good person.
Oh, great guy. I worked with him at UC Davis with Bob Biggs and all that, and Tim Keene was a tight ends coach, and he is a very good football coach. Kids love him.
Not surprised that he's doing well at UC Davis.
Yeah, I hope they win it all.
Brad Bedell is his name. My name is BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News. We are live at Circa Resort and Casino. What's our number at now, Brad? We're up to 8,414. When we got here and looked at it, I guess 2 nights ago, they were in the 7,000. So I think they've added about 500 new survivor entries here during contest weekend.
It was 8,309 this morning
over 100 already added today. So that thing's starting to go up pretty quick. Brad got his entry in yesterday in the Grandissimo. That's up to 20 now.
Oh, somebody forked over $100,000 last night.
Another $100,000 has come in on the Grandissimo, which now puts that prize pool at $2 million. If you want in $100,000, get your buddies together. You can pull that together and get in that. We're looking at the board here. The millions is at 2,675. They're trying to get to 6,000 on that to cover their overlay. Right now, they're in the hole 3.3 million, but they're going to get pretty close to even on that. And then the believe it or not, Brad, the survivor, I mean, they can already tell because they pretty much know, that there's patterns of how many get added, throughout the rest of the way. They're at 8,400 right now, but they're, they committed 15 million, but they think they got a chance to push towards 20 million.
Yeah. It's
$20 million winner take all in the survivor.
Yep. Here we go.
There's somebody on there. Maybe not right now, maybe later at the pool though, but there is a gentleman here, Luis, wanting to buy us a shot.
Sounds good.
We'll take advantage of that, Luis, out at the pool later. That was appreciate you for that. But yes, if you want to get in, you can sign up until they said yesterday, Saturday at 2:00, I believe.
Yeah, to make an appointment with a proxy because their lines are out of control. So reach out to BJ and he'll hook you up.
Tom Carroll's our guy. We signed up 7 or 8 people yesterday. $21 million in the guaranteed prizes. And the cool part also is that they call it a rake, but no rake. Right. So Circa does not take a percentage off the top. Mm-hmm. And they also don't take any money if it goes over what they guaranteed. So last year they guaranteed $10 million. They got 14.2. That extra 4.2 went right to the winner. They don't keep a penny of that. And frankly, you think about it, they lose money on that. I mean, and so to speak, they're paying all these radio shows, podcasts, all this advertising, all the other stuff they do around the contest weekend, around the contest in general, the marketing and all that. I mean, they get it back obviously with people that stay here and obviously things like that. But I mean, they theoretically invest into the contest and don't make a penny off the top of it.
Try to get people in the building,
which they've done a pretty good job of.
No doubt.
126 ways to win in the Circa Millions, and there is as Brad Bedell is fighting for again, the $100,000 booby prize.
I tried. I failed miserably.
We got 18 weeks of action in that one. Winner takes home $1 million. Other ways you can win quarterly prizes and things like that. But the Survivor, $15 million. And there's an awesome documentary. I think I sent it to you, Brad. But if not, folks need to go watch it out. They're only about 15-minute episodes. But VSiN, the Sports Gambling Network, put together a great documentary on the Survivor contest last year. And they followed every week and teams and who's winning and who's still alive. And if you want to kind of feel what it's like to have a sweat and be a part of that competition and be down to, which team do I pick and what's going on in this game, they had like a 10-part documentary. And like I said, each episode's pretty easy to watch, 15, 20 minutes, follow it throughout the NFL season of the Survivor contest. And it's a pretty cool thing if you want to go on there and do it. So reach out. Tom Carroll's our proxy. We'll sign you up. Circa Resort and Casino. You can get, you just have to sign up, like we said, in the state of Nevada. They have one in Reno as well. There's some other ones, but you can play from anywhere in the world using your proxy. Our guy was telling us he had somebody in Dubai, I think, playing. So, but you have to fly over from Dubai to sign up. And then Tom can make your picks for you legally because you've already given the $1,000. I know it's minutia, but you give your $1,000 to the casino. Correct. You make the actual transaction of the betting by the gambling by signing up for the contest, and all that the proxy is doing is just putting in your picks.
Correct. So
somehow that is seen differently, and that is considered 100% legal.
Yep. And money exchanged.
No money is exchanged when the proxy's putting in the picks. And I think Derek was telling us 75-80%. I mean, there's a lot of people that use proxies.
Every state is recognized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so, and the other thing is through the app, you can look at, okay, the pick's in, this is the pick I made. And
the app still works. You can't actually make a sports bet in Idaho, but the Circa Sports Nevada app works, and you can look at odds and lines and make sure your picks in and all that stuff. Taz Fan 3445, continuing our questions for Brad Bedell here. Do you think they will match up bowl games with the Pac-12 and Mountain West moving forward here? We mentioned the problems with Pac-12, Mountain West. I know in basketball, a lot of these coaches are saying, like, no, these are good games. If you're New Mexico, you still want to play Boise State. Sure. If you're UNLV, you still want to play Boise State. Like in some sports, like I'm getting my Missouri-Kansas football game this year, first time in 13 years. They've done that since they left the conference. It took them over a decade. They finally agreed to a new series. Sometimes there is hostility, animosity. They said, you leave the conference, screw you, we're not playing you. But in some cases, you need games, and you need quality games, and you say, you know what, like, hey, you did, your athletic director, your president did what's best for you. Like, but I don't care. For our program, it's still best to play you. Sometimes they say, no, we're not playing you. What do you think of Mountain West Pac-12 bowl games?
I think when the bowl ties come back, because now the new Pac's going to have to get some bowl ties in. I would be highly in favor of having a Pac Big or Mountain West bowl game on the West, right? I think we'll see what happens with the Las Vegas Bowl. I know they tied in the the Big 12, wasn't it?
There is talk about the Mountain West possibly getting back in the Vegas Bowl.
Right.
Or a second bowl in Vegas or something.
Bowl in Vegas. I think that's a great bowl for the Pac and the Mountain to come together and get a game. I think the fans would love it. It's close proximity to everybody. And
that was a great bowl, but it was always like, but it was always like a 6-6 Pac-12 team against, Boise State or whatever. And it was always out at Sam Boyd Stadium, but then when Allegiant opened, the Vegas Bowl said, hey, we can get some better teams in here, better conferences, better payouts. We're going to move the game to Allegiant. And they brought in Big Ten, I believe, was involved in it. I think SEC is even involved in it, the alternating years or something. And so they had some better options. I don't think they maybe had Vegas is one of those cities where, yeah, on 3 weeks notice for a bowl game, you might go to, but I still don't know if they had the interest that maybe they expected from the SEC schools or Big Ten or whoever they've had the last couple of years about wanting to have they're not going to get, fill Allegiant Stadium for the Las Vegas Bowl. But I think Mountain West would be great. What I wonder is like, okay, so the Potato Bowl, you're not going to keep having Mountain West teams come to the Potato Bowl if Boise State's not even in the conference anymore, right? I mean, you're going to have to switch that to a Pac-12 tie-in maybe.
Yeah, you could do that. The other one I want to see, which would be interesting to have the Pac tie-in, is the Holiday Bowl. I want to see what the Holiday Bowl does in the future, because I think that's a perfect bowl game to bring in this new conference. San Diego State's in the conference; they're right there.
And that used to be for years just an awesome bowl game. And you get some great teams in there. And they had I'm trying to think of it now, the second bowl game in San Diego that Boise State played in, the Poinsettia Bowl.
Yep. They played TCU.
Yeah. Well, they also played Northern Illinois and beat them like 55-3 or something.
At that game. It was
but that was at the old, those games were at the old stadium before it got torn down. I know they have the Petco Park. They can play some football games in the baseball stadium, which is kind of a unique thing. Yep. And then obviously you have San Diego State Stadium as well. So I think, whether it's 1 or 2 or whatever, but I do think, you think that's why I know some people didn't like it, but I actually thought the Hawaii Bowl, Christmas in Hawaii, I get it. Like some people thought, the timings, whatever. But I mean, you want to go a bowl game. Sorry, you don't want to go to Boise, Idaho to play in a bowl game in December. You want to go to San Diego,
you want to
Vegas,
go somewhere warm,
Hawaii. Like you want to go to some of these cool spots. Albuquerque, like Mountain West had some pretty crappy bowl area. I mean, Albuquerque, Tucson, the Arizona Bowl. You had the Snoop Dogg Bowl, whatever it was. Boise,
Barstool Sports Bowl.
My point exactly.
But there's actually, isn't this a perfect time to get to the new conference? Because now we have we don't know what the bowls are going to look like when they extend the playoff. So are we getting rid of some bowls? Are we shaking up the tie-ins? Because they're talking about the first 2 rounds being home games and they want to spread out to the bowl system. So when that gets shaken up, that's where I think the commissioner of the new PAC needs to get to some of these bowl games and get the tie-ins. Because now the whole thing's going to be shaken up with the extension of the playoff. And
I don't know if that was, I have to look and see, but it feel like, most of the Mountain West Bowl destinations are in like Mountain West stadiums and Mountain West cities. And I don't know if that's the case in other places or not, but a lot of these bowls, like to get Mountain West teams in bowls, they had to have the New Mexico Bowl and the Hawaii Bowl and all these bowls
to play a MAC school.
Yeah. And they're usually not the greatest of games.
No, I agree.
But I think San Diego is a perfect spot. I think you need to get the Pac-12 in Vegas back somehow. And the only problem with that would be is if you have the championship game here.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later have the bowl game right back here. I don't know if that would work for fans or whatever else. Especially if the Vegas Bowl is your champion. But if it's your number 2, if you can get a better bowl, or if it's number 3 even or something where it's not a team that just played there, maybe that would be better, but I don't think you're sending your 4th or 5th best Pac-12 team to Vegas in the new Pac-12. Previous one, 6, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think San Diego, I know people don't want to hear it, but I still think Hawaii, if done right, could be a nice bowl destination. Maybe it doesn't need to be Christmas Eve or whatever or something like that.
I agree there. But, the other thing is to go back to bring, you said 3 weeks to come back. But I also think if the Pac comes back to Vegas, but plays a Big 10 team, a Big 12 team, something like that, I think that is a big interest. If they're coming in like,
but it'd be a 6-6, Kansas team or something. It wouldn't be a top level.
It wouldn't be, but I still think that's okay because you're still matching it's 2 bigger conferences. And I also think when it comes to terms like that is you're going to have a big draw from the team that's coming from outside in. Not that they were back. Oh, we're back in 3 weeks, right? I just think that is, if you don't match it, the PAC with the MAC. Who gives a rat's ass, right? Put it with a power. And I agree. It's like an 8-win Big 10 team that's not in the playoff, which is the Big 10 commissioner. They think everybody should just go to the playoff, not even play a season in the Big 10. But I think a Big 10 team or a Big 12 team would come in 8 wins against a 1 or 2 PAC team that's not in the playoff. I think that is a great bowl game. It's a great bowl game.
Yeah. And AP he says bring back ACC teams for the Potato Bowl and bring back the Humanitarian Bowl name. Probably not happening on either.
No,
I don't think an ACC team is
not coming.
Going to come to Boise, Idaho to play in a bowl game.
I
know he's probably kidding there, but you had Boston College back in the day play out there. You had Cincinnati. You had some crazy
some games.
Yeah,
and then ESPN, you got to go back to ESPN controls everything.
Yeah.
ESPN controls everything. And so now ESPN says, no, we don't want that to happen anymore. We want to do the Mountain West versus a MAC school. Well, on a Tuesday. Come on. That Boise, that Potato Bowl can be the atmosphere, Tent City's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't understand how cool that game is. But if you can get somebody that is not in the MAC, maybe a Big 12 team can come in here. That would be a bigger.
And I mean, they basically started the LA Bowl. The Mountain West basically started the LA Bowl once they got kicked out of the Vegas Bowl.
Right.
They basically said, okay, we got to get a premier spot for our champion to go and have at least one good bowl game. And they got it, against the Pac-12 again, and they got it in SoFi Stadium and got it on ABC and in a good time spot. And it was a pretty quality game, but you do wonder now, I don't know if that game's staying in its current form or it would just be Mountain West versus Pac-12. I mean, is that the Mountain West? Mountain West would probably love to have that opportunity for their champion in the new look. But I don't know if the SoFi Stadium or if the Pac-12 wants to keep that game going. But I would suspect there'll be at least one bowl matchup probably with Mountain West Pac-12.
If you are the LA Bowl and you say no to the new Pac going into that, you're not very bright. Just keep it.
You mentioned the playoff, and we saw yesterday that the 9-game conference schedule for the SEC is going to happen, and that was one of the things that the Big Ten was saying they were not going to endorse the 5+11 until the SEC went to a nine conference game. Yep. So it's more similar. Mm-hmm. I like the 5+11. You give your top 5 thing, give the 1 through 4 the bye. Boise State doesn't. If you don't want to give the Boise States of the world the bye, I'm okay with that. See the top 4 teams get the bye. If they're all in the SEC, they're all in the SEC. They get the 4 byes. I'm okay with that part of it. That will probably change depending on how they with 16 teams. Do you just go 1 versus 16? How does all that work in the 5+11? Is it like I said, do you have the one? Is there double buys, 1 buy, no buys? But the 5+11 could be closer to happening now. I mean, the whole 28 thing was stupid.
Yep.
I'd be in favor of a 20 or 2014 playoff if, and I know you'll laugh, whatever, I don't care. But the only, if you're going to do that, I think all 10 conference champions deserve an automatic spot, not just 5.
I'm with you.
If you want to go to 20, you want to do 24 and say, you know what, the Sun Belt champ gets in every year, but they got to play at Georgia in the first game. Okay. So maybe you have so if you want to go 24 and you have 10 guaranteed and then 60 or 10 locked up and then 14 at larges or whatever, however you would do it, and then the top 8 get the buys and you make those guys all play on there and you whittle it down to your 16 or whatever, and then you have your 1 versus 16. Go I'd be okay with there's 100. Everyone always complains. It's like when they were going to talk about expanding March Madness too. And these are bad. Why are we adding 4 more crappy teams? You'll be watching. That first Tuesday of the tournament, you'll have your bracket filled out, and you'll be watching.
Yeah.
And if it's a 15-15 Boise State team or whatever playing some other, people are watching, and you're gambling, and you're at Circa, and there's money involved.
Absolutely.
It's so you cannot tell me you're watering it down and all this. If you want to put 24 teams, I think 28, 30, you're starting to get a little too big there. But if you want to go to 20 or 24 and make it where, they finally got the group of 5 where you at least. Every group of 5 school, Tulane, Liberty, whatever, they can wake up right now today and say that if they take care of business, they have a chance to get in. Now, obviously, if 2 go undefeated, only 1's guaranteed. It's not for sure. But the group of 5 certainly has more of a feeling of inclusion now than they used to, because they know they at least get 1 spot.
You're going to be in the tournament.
But if you can have a big enough field, and I get it, if the SEC is why would we give, it's essentially 5 guaranteed spots to non-Power 5 schools out of this pool. I get it. But if you're also going to 24, or even if you want to do 28, I don't know. I just think that I think that a bigger tournament, if those guys get a chance, you see how the FCS playoffs does it. It works. It's great. I know there's more logistics with bowl games, do you get rid of conference championship games? How many games do you play, period? If you win this thing, are we talking about the top team playing 17, 18 games? There is more to it. I understand it. I get that. But I'm all for making it bigger, but I did not want a system where, the SEC automatically gets 7 spots.
No,
the SEC automatically gets 5 spots. They automatically get 4 in this conference, and the Big 12 gets 2. If your league's good enough, you're going to get those spots anyway. I had when I first saw that they were pushing this 4-4-2-2 model, whatever. It just made me sick. I'm like, this is not. Give the conference champions some spots. Give the group of 5 1 spot, and then the next best 11 teams, let them get in. And I hope that's I hope the 5+11 is what ends up happening.
I agree with you, but I also think in the Big Ten, it's the only thing in the commissioner of the Big Ten, his model is 2. G5 spots are in. I think if you're going to expand it, I think 16 is the magic number, personally. I don't think it needs to be any bigger than that. I think if you're at 16, I think they should get 2. If you're going to expand it to 16, G5 should get 2 spots, right? The other thing is I'm very intrigued on is the buys. What we saw last year. If I'm thinking and I'm a head football coach and I'm looking at this thing, I'm thinking, okay, last year I don't want to buy. I want to play because all 4 lost.
Well, yes, and part of that was because they weren't necessarily the better team in those games because they got the bye, but they were actually ranked lower. I mean, Penn State was a better ranked higher than Boise State.
I agree.
And in a couple cases, there Arizona State was got the 3rd whatever seed they got,
right?
But the 4th seed, but they were not the better team. I do agree with you there. I also think the home games on campus is a big deal.
Huge.
I mean, I'm not saying you'd choose a bye over getting a home game on campus, but for a Boise State, I mean, that Fiesta Bowl was great last year, but would you have rather not had the bye and got to host a game on the blue?
I think the home games are very good for the university. Okay, it's just an extra. You're on national television in a playoff. It makes Boise State would look fabulous on TV. Okay, in the community and everything. I think that is vital, but I think should only be 1. I think you got to keep the bowl system, let them go play.
One game on campus?
One round on campus. First round's on campus, and then you're going to the bowl system.
Would you take, if it's 16, 1, no buys, 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15,
right?
And the first, if you're 1 through 8, you're the home team. If you're 9 through 16, you're the road team.
Agreed.
All that on campus, first round.
First round.
If you're 1 through 8, you get a home game.
Yep. And then
you don't get the bye, but you get the home game. And you're also, if you're 1, you're playing 16.
And then you're knocked down to 8.
Then you get your 8 and you have your 4 bowls. Then your 2 more bowls for the semifinals and your championship.
Yep. That's exactly what I would do.
Is there any, I mean, that seems too logical, too easy at this point.
Well, that's because it's only 2 of us. You don't have 17
I haven't seen
people
they said 5 plus 11, but I haven't necessarily seen. I mean, I don't know how you would, if with 16, I don't know how you would do buys.
You can't do buys because it's going to extend it too long.
Because you'd have to go like double buy or whatever to get some. Yeah, I don't think that would.
No buys. You're playing. We're going.
And I guess you have your 8-9 or your 7-10 where there's some pretty similarly matched teams, but you at least get the. I mean, you're going to have. But I mean, if you're the number 1 team and you're saying, "Oh, we deserve a bye," I mean, if you're playing Tulane at home,
there's your bye.
Yeah, you pretty much got to win that game.
If Georgia's, you're coming
1 versus 16 in college football when it's. I mean, that
Georgia,
should be.
Texas.
But 2-15, 3-4, like you see those matchups during the regular season all the year where it's not necessarily a guaranteed win. I mean, those are going to be good games.
Right. They're good games. They're good games. But I just don't agree with the buy.
I think the on campus though was really cool last year.
I agree.
Seeing some of those games on campus. I watched, was it the Indiana Notre Dame, I guess, and some of those games, whoever it was, I thought they were awesome.
I think that was the best thing they did. Now I think you can still do the same thing with 16, first round. Everybody's obviously their home games on campus, and then you knock it down to 8. You got your bowl, your big bowls are happy, right? Your Rose Bowl, your Sugar, your Orange, all those things, they're happy, and you get to move on. I think that's the best answer, in my opinion.
All right, final couple minutes here, Brad. Boise State's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
The over-under is 10 wins.
Okay.
10. We mentioned this earlier in the show. Here at Circa, 10 wins. That means to win your bet, to win your money, and they are plus 105. So you do get a little extra juice back. So you'd bet 100, they'd give you the 105 profit plus your 100 back. But that means they can only lose 1 game or 0 for you to win your bet.
Right.
They go 10-2, you get your money back, you push, but you don't win. They were at 9.5. That number keeps going up. More people are, obviously on. So it's a tough bet to win. To win, because 11-1, can it happen? Yes. Is there a decent chance it happens? Yeah, you could see it happening, but you could very easily see them stubbing their toe even next week or losing 1 game to whoever. I mean, I don't. You feel pretty good about the home games. I mean, but you never know. UNLV comes in. I mean, they've lost a home game before. Like, it's not crazy to see them losing another game or 2. Now, 2 games, 9-3. Could I see it? Yes. I mean, again, that's 2 games. It's Notre Dame and 2 more games. It's not the end. You lose at South Florida, then it's 1 other game where you stub your toe. Like, is there a scenario where they could go 9-3 that doesn't seem that crazy? Yes. 10-2. A lot of people think that's probably the right number, or 11-1. You lose Notre Dame game and then 1 other game somewhere. I mean, it's hard to win. It's hard to go 11-1. I mean, you could say, you could say, the Notre Dame game, but then you're giving yourself no other chances to stub your toe the entire season.
Right. You got to win out.
And we mentioned a lot of the tougher games are at home. But I mean, I think that's gonna. I mean, the spread's only 6 points next week. You're on the road at South Florida. That's under a touchdown game. Like that's not going to be some.
No,
if that's a 30-40 point Boise State blowout, you're going, okay, this team might be even better than we thought. I mean, that's going to be a fourth quarter 1-score game.
I would agree. Tight at half,
Yeah.
and I think Boise State is going to win. I think the only two games. I think Notre Dame's a tough game. I think it's a really tough game. Notre Dame is very good this year, but for. I don't know. I think Boise State can go in and win it, but they're going to have to play the best. They're going to need some breaks. Okay, and really looking at the schedule, the only thing that really stands out that I think a stub toe type game is at Air Force, because Boise at Air Force hasn't done as they've lost quite a few games at a few games at Air Force, right? So that's the only game that I think that I'm thinking, okay, that triple option. They do have the week to prepare, or an extra week to prepare. But so I think they're going to be fine. That's a game that I'm thinking, okay, they got to be on it. They got to be on that one. And I haven't done any homework on how good App State is. Is it the same Appalachian State team that's been there 2-3 years ago? That's just a tough-minded football team, but at home,
On paper, it's a fun little game.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
That's two really, if you look at the past 7 years, it's really two of the G5 programs. They went and beat Michigan. That's what got them on the map.
Yep.
And then they've had very good wins.
Obviously, Drinkwitz parlayed that into Missouri.
Yep. It's a really good win. And so I that game is fun for me. I'm excited for that game.
Yeah.
But you can't stub your toe going on a week from this game one.
If you want to have is it a tough game? Yes. Is it a tricky game? Yes. Could they very well easily lose this game? Yes. If you want to have the season you want to have and get to the playoff and win 10, 11 games, that's a game you have to win.
Yeah. You got to win. You got to win them all, but you did never want to come out of the gate 0-1. And this is a tough game. I was looking, and we're going to go closer to the game. We'll talk about that game, but
yeah, I
looked on defense. They got 7 transfers. Now, a couple of them been there a year or two, but they're all from Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, all that. So they've got players. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I fully expect Boise State to win by 14.
And I always talk about San Diego State, how I think they should be a spot where they should be cleaning up in the transfer portal with these 5-star guys that don't get the playing time they want somewhere else. And it's like, I'll go to San Diego and bounce back there. South Florida, getting to go to Tampa.
Yeah,
not a bad opportunity for a bounce back spot for some of those guys too.
There's no doubt.
They could clean up very well, which it sounds like maybe they have.
Yeah, they had I think they had a decent year last year. We'll see what happens. But yes, South Florida should clean it up. San Diego State should be a power, and they just never got it back going.
Get your popcorn ready. Says, are we expecting a loss at Notre Dame? I
don't expect a loss. I'll go back. It's tough.
You're looking at the schedule. That's clearly the one where that's going to be the toughest one to win.
I would agree with you.
Boise State could be undefeated. Notre Dame's got a pretty tough schedule before then. They could be, but I still think that's a game where Boise State's probably a 10, 11 point underdog.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not trying to be. Wasn't the Oregon spread? What was the Oregon spread last year? Week 2, week 3.
It was 12, I think.
Okay.
That's the game right there.
I'm not saying it's an impossible. They can't win this. They've gone in there and done.
No, I'm not
but that's on paper. That's a game that Notre Dame will be a pretty decent favorite.
I agree with you 100% at Notre Dame. And Notre Dame coming off the year they've had and how many returners they have back. It's actually opposite. Now they have Boise State's going to face the number 1 tailback in the nation in Love. So it's like, so everybody saw Genty for Boise State. Now people are praising this Love kid. I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but
they were in the national championship game.
He is a very good running back.
Wasn't Notre Dame in the national championship game? They played for the championship last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did. I don't know. Who did Ohio State beat? Notre Dame.
I think Notre Dame was in the championship.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Notre Dame. Join a conference.
There's a discussion for another day. My wife's a fan of the Notre Dame coach.
So is my wife.
Yeah. Always enjoys whenever he's doing an interview or they're playing. She's for some reason likes to stop and.
Yeah, we have to watch a lot of Notre Dame.
Yeah, unfortunately, right there with you, man. I know the feeling. At least I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
At least I'm not the only one. Yeah. It's like, yeah,
congrats.
Great looks, a lot of money. All going down the checklist of things I don't have. It's like, what did I do with my life? Yeah.
Really boost your confidence.
Yeah. He's got a beautiful fan. Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Congrats to him.
Notre Dame at times seems to really struggle in some games, or they'll win 10 games by a few points, like BYU last year. Blake M.
He's actually right. Notre Dame will stub its toe.
Well, they lost last year to what? Northern Illinois?
Yes. Notre Dame always blows something. They just come out flat. And I don't know what it is, but they do. They come out flat, usually to lesser teams.
And we'll talk about that closer to time, but that's got to be one of, I know Boise State's played some pretty cool games, but that's got to be just when you factor in the history and tradition and everything else. And as I mentioned, not even the fact that they were just coming off in the appearance in the national championship game. And when Boise State plays them, they will be top 10, maybe top 5. They have to play Miami and a couple tough games before then. I think Texas A&M, right? But if they can somehow, even with one loss, they're probably in the top 5, 6, 7 in the country.
I would agree.
It's going to be one of the biggest, most anticipated games in the history of this program. Maybe ever. I mean, they've played in Fiesta Bowls. They've had huge games. I know it's a regular season game, but Boise State playing at Notre Dame. I mean, there's a reason that they sold out of their ticket allotment, that Boise State fans are gobbling up tickets for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, and it would be probably the greatest win ever if they got it.
And what's interesting is people at Boise go, well, we're playing Oregon. Yeah, we beat Oregon all the time. It's like, oh, it's Oregon again. It's this again. No, we're playing Notre Dame at Notre Dame. I mean, that's a big deal. It's a good, and I agree with whoever said it. That right there. Notre Dame has stubbed their toe early in the year, and it's usually, I'd have to look at it. It'd be interesting. I think it's usually hovers around week 4 through 6 is where they get that loss. It's weird. And it's usually to a G5 or a lesser team, because I think those kids probably think, well, we're Notre Dame. The problem is Boise carries a big stick, and you can't just say, hey, guys, who's Boise State?
Boise State will have a number 17 or 18 next to their name too, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, you come in, win nationally televised and NBC. Are you kidding me? You got 2 historical great football programs. I mean, that's a bigger game on a national scene that deserves probably preseason more talking about, that nobody's talking about. But I think once that game gets closer and both teams are going into that thing undefeated, that's a big game.
So if Boise State can get by South Florida, get by Eastern Washington, have the bye week, and then get by Air Force, if they're 3-0, I mean, we just mentioned 2 of their 3 maybe hardest games are 2 of the first 3 games.
Right.
If they can get by South Florida and get by Air Force, you'd be feeling much better holding that over 10 win ticket.
Oh yeah, yeah, 10-win ticket.
After the Air Force game, if they win that, I mean, it's Notre Dame, and we don't see a lot of other potential slip ups on there.
You got UNLV
at home, but yes,
at home, but I was saying,
yeah,
and San Diego State. And everybody likes Colorado State, but I don't know.
That game's at home.
I don't understand that one.
That game is at home. Well, every year Jay Norvell, if you look at his track record, I mean, every year they have gotten better there, and he's got them. I mean, like I said, on paper, they've got returning starting quarterback. They've got some guys back, and they are, like I said, if you look at his win-loss record every year he's been there, he's obviously got them, trending up.
Good for him. Come on.
Oh man, App State, they're saying, could be a little tricky.
Like I said before, I don't know how good App State is and all that. They're a good football program. That's a long travel.
Yeah.
So I think.
All right. So the 10 wins, we feel, I mean, 10-2, if it was 9.5, we'd feel much better about the over.
Right.
But I still think it's certainly feasible. More likely they go, would you say more likely 11-1 than 9-3? Or what's more likely if you.
I think, oh God, that's so hard.
Because 10-2 is probably the most likely of them all. You're just being honest. I mean, it's like we said, with the Notre Dame going thrown in there. And again, we're not assuming anything. You just probably on paper do expect that to probably be a loss, and that gives you and to expect them to win the other 11 games. It's really hard to do. They? Will they? Maybe.
I would say this. I would say if they lose to Notre Dame, I think it's 10-2.
Okay.
I think if they beat Notre Dame, they go undefeated.
That's probably fair. That's fair to say.
That's right. And I'm also assuming that they're undefeated going into Notre Dame.
All right.
If you stub the toe before Notre Dame, you're possibly looking at 9-3.
Quickly, give me one position you feel really good about, and then one position that you're still not sold on yet.
Offensively, quarterback, I feel really good about. Wide receiver, I want to see explosive plays. And I think Caples, I think they got the talent. We just have not seen explosive passes.
Chris Marshall has been maybe getting the most pub all camp. He had a great camp, stayed healthy, 5-star potential, and a lot of it for him was just, can he stay on the field? To this point, he has. Yep. He's a huge wild card. But if Chris Marshall is back to being the he was the number 25 overall recruit in the 2022 class. He was a top 25 player in the entire class. Yep. And and he's had some off the field issues. He's had some injury issues on the field. I mean, it's been a tough road for him, but I mean, I was out there almost every practice. And I tell you, aside from that practice in the rain the other day where the guys were dropping when they were spraying him and stuff, but I very rarely see him drop a ball. His size in the red zone in particular, he's unguardable.
Agreed.
I mean, we were hyping him up all month. We were trying to slow it down, but now we're in game week, and he's still there, and he has been at every practice that I've seen, and I think we're at the point now where he's a guy that we might look up and he might have 4 catches on the first drive for 50 yards or whatever, and you're going, oh my gosh, this guy might be in a Heisman race, like, and I get it, but it would not shock me if South Florida he has 7 or 8 catches.
Yeah, I hope he does, but I hope they're chunk plays. I mean, because if this is the thing is he is the X factor, because let's say he just takes off and blows up like we're expecting. The way this guy practices with intent.
Our boy Gold from Kansas City had a drink, and I was wanting to know if it was an alcoholic drink this early in the morning, but it wasn't. It was a coffee. Sorry.
So now all of a sudden, okay, we gotta cover this kid. So that's going to open up Caples. So they need complementary. They need a top 1 or 2 wide receiver. So that's what I got on offense. Defensively, the secondary is a major concern. I feel really good about the D-line, starting D-line, and the way that the edge rushers can get to the quarterback. I think they got good size in the middle. I think rotationally it'll be interesting. I want to see how that goes, just to see what kind of depth they have at that position. But by far, the secondary has got to be shored up, and I want to see some interceptions on some 50-50 balls and stop getting mossed. That's what I want to see. A
lot of criticism about the DBs last year not turning their heads around at the right time,
right?
Not knocking balls away,
and when at practice,
lack of interceptions.
And what I've seen at practice, they made some plays on some 50-50 balls, right? But I want to see it in the game. That secondary, they've got to play better. And if they don't, that's where you're going to be looking at 30. Offense is going to have to put 35 on them.
And I know as a coach, I know Rid never likes when I bring this kind of stuff up. But I mean, as a coach, it's the way it is. Every year, there's a coach or two that fans are always looking at as, oh, this is the guy. It's and I will say when they brought everybody back last year, the one guy that a lot of fans were maybe not quite sold on was the corners coach, DeMario Warren. And
I know how he feels.
And a lot of that is, again, fans, media, whatever. We don't see a lot of the ins and outs. What are they being taught? What's the technique? You just see the position not perform. And at some point when the position doesn't perform, I get it. Yeah, maybe the players just aren't good enough. But at some point, it's coaching as well. And so when they brought everybody back, I mean, there was one year where DeMario, I think, had to take a pay cut. He was a special teams coach. They got him out of that role, and they brought in Stacey Collins. The special teams were not good either as corners. But I mean, if there was one guy that I would say, and hot seat's not the right word, but if there was one guy coming into this year that if you asked fans, who's the one position coach that you really want to see some stuff from, or you'd be fine if they left, I hate to say it, but it's probably DeMario Warren and the corners coach. And so I think that the corner position, as you said, didn't have very many interceptions last year, ranked pretty low in the country in turnovers in general, but definitely in interceptions. Gave up a ton of big plays, ton of explosive passing plays. You mentioned the 50-50 balls, and the tackling wasn't great last year either. So, I mean, defensively, for an overall defense that's still ranked, I think, top 40, top 50 in the country, they got some areas where if they, need to shore up, but if they do, I mean, this defense could go from pretty good to elite pretty quick.
I agree with you. And to go back to the coaching thing, and I totally understand. We talked about that. You got to own it. Your players, you own the room. But, I'll defend, Spencer a little bit. He sees he's a defensive coach. He sees something that he thinks is very correctable within the coach, and he believes in him, and you roll with him. You know what I mean? And then see what happens. I think there's, from everything that I've seen at the practices I went to and things like that unit has gotten better. I just want to see it in the game.
And the problem is you have the same coach back. You have a lot of the same players back. You have both your starting. You have McCoy back.
Right.
You have Irby back.
Right.
You have Banks back. You have Ty Benefield back. You have Zion Washington back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do lose Tubner, Robinson, Oladipo, 3 guys that played a lot. But your projected quote unquote starters this year were all either starters last year or very main contributors.
Correct.
To last year's team. And so if you are a fan going, okay, we sucked last year. We got the same coach and the same players back. Why do we expect it to be any different this year?
Well,
I mean, a year of experience. I mean, I understand that why there are still some questions on that group.
I agree with you, but it's also there's a year of development, so they've gotten better. They're going to get better. I want to see it in a game. It's just like everything else. Like bring out our quarterback, not Boise, but some guys, our quarterback sucked last year, and he's coming back, so he's going to suck again, and he has a great year. So new year, new secondary, new team. Who knows what wrinkles they're putting in? I mean, I don't know what wrinkles defensively they're put into. They're studying. They probably did a whole study on some things to help secondary. And like anyways, you want a great secondary, what you do is you get to the quarterback and you're going to be in good shape. So I think that those are my two things, offensively and defensively. And the other thing is, if we're going to include special teams, I think they did a phenomenal job going after the Fresno State running back, who's a very good returner. And I think, the punter lost. I'd like to see, the punting's got to improve. Let's not bring up the other game, but I mean that don't have any big special teams. Stacy's an unbelievable coach. No special team blowups. And is that punter going to help them flip the field position?
Yeah. And you have a new punter, new field goal kicker, new returner. I mean, you got the shout out Mason Hutton, the long snapper, one of the top long snappers, maybe around. Does a tremendous job, but new holder as well. Punting's punting for me. Oscar Doyle did it at Weber State. I'm not super worried about. And frankly, for all the talk and hype that James Ferguson Reynolds had, he didn't have a great year last year statistically. And I know part of that was you could talk to people that said his style of punting didn't mesh with Stacey Collins' style in terms of the rugby style versus whatever. And it's not all about just hang time and distance.
No.
And people see that. And maybe some guys, players included, get caught up in the distance and the hang time and out kicking your coverage and all that kind of stuff.
But you'd also, a good punter is a defense's best friend. To flip the field and pin people and things like that. Hidden yardage, when you get a really good punter, it's unbelievable how it can help your defense. Well, just a whole field position game.
And I just want to see a little more attempts in the return game. I mean, 2 years ago, it was almost fair catching every punt. Last year, they said, we're going to be more aggressive, whatever, and they just didn't get a lot of chances to. Yeah. We just have not. I know Dylan Riley, I think, had a kick return touchdown, but I think for the most part, I just want to see a little more explosive and let's just see what Sherrod can do. Take it on the punt return, even if there's a guy kind of close, like take a chance on one where maybe it's typically a for sure fair catch or one that you let bounce or whatever. Like let's try to be a little more aggressive in the return game. And I do think special teams, another area where they paid Stacey Collins a lot of money. I mean, at the time, he got the most money ever for a non offensive defensive coordinator in Boise State history to come over here and leave Penn State and in a large part to turn the special teams around. And Stacey Collins admitted several times since then, last year was not good enough, and it was frustrating for him. And then it's got to get better. And like you said, you see it in practice, but you got to see it in games.
I want to see it in the game. Stacey's a very good football coach, and he'll turn that around. I'm not the punting thing. Punting's just not punting. You got to flip the field position. I think a new punter is a welcome sight.
Well,
for me.
Tuesday, I don't think you're the only one that probably feels that way overall. But Tuesday, you're going to be at the James with Kent Riddle and Riley Smith and Michael Callahan, and we'll get out there on the patio Tuesday night, preview the season, talk football, a little more discussion on South Florida and that game, and get into some other things you're seeing. But it's been a fun couple of days here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Thank you for Circa for hosting this. It's been unbelievable time, and good to catch up on all the questions. And I enjoyed it. I like hearing feedback from them and asking questions and things like that. So,
well, we could have. I mean, it's you said yesterday it went quick. We surpassed the 2 hour mark today already again.
Awesome.
And we could have easily gone for another hour or two. But if you've never been to Circa, get down here. It's a tremendous place, awesome place, and I kind of like how it's week 0 too. It's kind of that last.
Yeah, there's a buzz to it.
Yeah,
there's a buzz to it.
There's a buzz, but also kind of for us, it's and maybe for me and someone that's going to be traveling to all these games and doing all this, it's the last kind of little pause where it's like, okay, we're in Vegas. We're in. I wasn't going to say that, but I mean, we're in Vegas. We're having fun, and then it's like, okay, tomorrow. I mean, it's right now. Tomorrow, Spencer Danielson will be doing his week 1 presser. We'll be back. I mean, I'll be back in Boise tonight, and we're going to tomorrow morning. We're going to stream it live, Bronco Nation News tomorrow. You can watch it at noon. Spencer Danielson's week 1 presser is tomorrow. I mean, it is here. Tomorrow is Monday of game week. Today is Sunday of game week on a Friday. I mean, it's all systems go now. Football season is here.
get chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I do like that they play on the Thursday. You get it just speeds it up a little bit, and then if you're a Boise State fan too, you get your if Boise State. It's always nice playing Thursday or Friday when your team wins.
Oh, there's no doubt,
because then you get to have the rest of the weekend to kick your feet up and let everybody else battle it out.
I hear you, and it's fun to watch your friends stress when you don't have to stress about it. And I used to love watching Saturday games. Like, hey, I feel you, man. I had that on Thursday. Now I get to talk to you and watch games and go East Fighting Hornets. Opening games Monday.
Okay. All right. The rare Monday first game.
Well, that's always Mondays, and we're facing North, and here we go. Football season for everybody. I'm excited.
Get your Circa hat. Subscribe. This is the Millions hat. We got the Survivor hats here. I'm bringing some back for a couple people that signed up. The best $1,000 hat you'll ever buy.
It's like the NFLPA dues. Here's 10 grand. Oh, you're going to get a sticker. Cool. Thanks.
Well, they gave us a drink ticket too. So
yeah.
No, it's an awesome spot. You got to get down here. I know we hype it up a lot, but Circa really is. If you ever need to get a getaway with your wife, get down to Vegas, 21 and up. It's clean. It's nice. The people are always great to you. And as you said, they have the restaurants, they have the pool, they have the sports book. They really do have it all here. And it's been a tremendous couple of days. Excited, thankful for Circa for their partnership and wanting them to continue to be, for them wanting us to continue to be part of how they invest in their marketing dollars and things. And it's a thank you to all of you guys watching that you've come down, and the, Carrie and all, Melinda Draper and all the crew and Rob and all these folks that fly down and sign up for the contest, and other folks that give us money to come sign them up. I mean, that's really why they want to do this. So we appreciate all you guys for signing up for the contest, for supporting Circa when you come down here. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? You're missing out. You got a couple weeks to get in these contests. You got, a couple hours here. If you want to have me sign you up, reach out. I'm doing okay enough, I guess, at the tables. If someone else wants to sign up, I can still afford it here. I haven't lost all my money. I don't need to go back to the bank quite yet. But pull a Brad Bedell. Taxi to Wells Fargo.
No. Nope, not doing that.
Heard it was a great part. You got to visit a great part of town, I heard.
Yeah, I need a can of chew, too.
half eaten.
Yeah, how about this? So I had to go get a can of chew, and I bought it, and I rocked out, and it was open. And I'm like, ooh, I'm not even touching this one. There's some rough parts. It's Vegas. You get everything in Vegas.
We were trying to see, is there one player on the roster right now from Vegas on Boise State? We're not sure there is.
No, I think the last one was Molchan, wasn't it?
Stall for 10 seconds. I'm going to check the roster here. I don't know if there is.
Well, let me think. No, I think Molchan's the last one in Vegas.
Now, traditionally, though, they've had some great players from Vegas.
I agree.
You mentioned Molchan. He's one of the last ones.
I think so. I'm trying to think. We didn't sign anybody in 17. We didn't sign anybody in 18. We didn't sign anybody in 19.
Oh, Deion Washington, the transfer.
Where did he transfer?
I forgot about him. Deion Washington's a transfer from Hawaii and also has played at Nevada. He's from Shadow Ridge High School here in Las Vegas. So Deion Washington, we do have at least one on the roster still. It's a first year on the team here transferring in.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't know that. So when we were doing the team camps, we had actually 2 teams from Vegas come into the team camp.
Bishop Gorman. Don't they have a blue field too?
In Shadow, yeah. And that high school that young man's from, they used to come to, I think it's them, they used to come to the team camp. So we've had quite a few teams come up through Boise.
And to make sure here.
And things like that. But we don't, it's just not Vegas is a hard recruiting area because you got Bishop Gorman, you got Molchan's high school.
Faith Lutheran,
thank you. Everybody recruits them. And so it's hard to pull some kids out of here.
And I'm confirming last 3 players. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
By the way, how is this change in recruiting? I'm at the bottom of the roster here. So you're at number 98. You got Bethel. I always mispronounce this. He's a true freshman. Imasuin, but he is from Reading, England.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go up 2 spots. You have Lopez Sanusi from Dublin, Ireland. And then you go up 1 more, and you got Max Steege from Cologne, Germany.
The big boy.
Isn't
that the giant?
Oh, and then you go a little higher, Bull from Brooks, Alberta.
Yeah.
So four right there on the mostly on the D line there. They got
I mean, it's almost the Netherlands was a big one, especially when Hawk was the head coach because of Romeo Bandison, because he was from the Netherlands. So he had some kids over that looked at Boise State. But we were talking about that yesterday at the pool, what the NFL's trying to do. It's in Berlin game, or the game tomorrow in Dublin. It's a worldwide brand. Football is a worldwide brand, and kids want to come over and play football, American football.
Yeah. Well, I will wrap it up by saying this. It's been the Boise State Vegas connection has been a great one.
Yeah.
I hope that, obviously for selfish business reasons, I'm not going to deny that's part of it, wanting to continue a relationship with Circa, but also just because I love this place and I do love Las Vegas. I hope that there is a way that Boise State can continue to have a presence in Vegas. It's been too many years where fans have just gotten used to. I mean, you're going to have the conference basketball tournament.
Right.
They're talking about the conference championship for football.
Okay.
So that's a couple. Media days, at least for media and stuff, will be down here. There's going to be a presence, but I hope whether it's some sort of regular series on the basketball side, football side, I don't know. But there is a lot of history. Maybe right now they don't have the number of players on the roster they've used to. Maybe they don't recruit it as hard, but there's been some great players, some great games, some great moments in Boise State history that have happened in Las Vegas. And so I hope that they can continue to have a presence down here in Vegas.
I hope they do, but everybody, future scheduling, he's going to have to look out 2-3 years. Right. I don't know. I mean, future scheduling, that App State game has been on the docket for 4 years.
They don't have very many openings here for a while.
So for a while.
Although they're going to have to figure out what happens with the Pac-12 here because they only have the 8 football teams right now. So they've only got 7 conference games.
Yeah.
So you're either going to have to do a home and home with somebody or just it's a non-conference game or something or add another team pretty quickly or have to find another game.
That's a great avenue to open up and go to UNLV. Something has to happen.
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
Brad, appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely.
Fun couple days. And again, Circa Resort and Casino, next trip to Vegas. This needs to be your place, folks. Circa Resort and Casino. Reach out. We'll try to get you the BNN special, get you a good deal here. But the people here are just tremendous. They take care of you. And we've had an awesome time at contest weekend signing up for the contest. We signed up Carrie Simons, signed up the Drapers, signed up some other folks. We're having a lot of fun. And we even all were sitting there last night talking, Brad. I don't think you're involved in our group. We already got 4 people, I forget. But we're going to do one more survivor entry. All of us are going to put in $250, I think, of Carrie and the whole group there. We said, you know what, let's do another survivor entry. Why not? So I'm going to go sign up for another one today. And so get another hat. And looking forward to getting back to Boise tonight. And games tomorrow. Kansas -13 against Fresno.
Fresno by 3.
Fresno by 3.
Yeah, they're gonna
Fresno winning. What are we talking about here? I cannot wait till 7:30 sending you that text when it's 45-14. Come on. We're going into David Booth Memorial Stadium. Come on.
So when they win Fresno beats them by 3, I'm going to text you and your highlight of the broad jump. This is Kansas losing to Fresno State with you jumping and falling over because that's Kansas. You get it?
It would have actually occurred to me after doing that I don't know if I've ever done that in my life or tried to do that. And
harder than you think.
Well, I just didn't if I watched the video, I was like, I'm not even jumping. I'm just like I didn't even bend my legs. Like, what was I doing? Like, the whole thing was uncomfortable because they have cameras out there and stuff, and it was just like,
it's uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you know?
I guarantee if I did, I'm also already down about 15 pounds since that day. But if I think I'm going to be ready for next year. Let's just say that. Let's do that media day thing again next year. I got nowhere to go but up.
Exactly.
I got nowhere to go but up. All right.
I can already see the meme starting with that rock chalk, the Jayhawk on your head, and you jumping, losing to Fresno.
Don't give anybody any ideas on here. Come on. Someone's going to have that made in 5 minutes now.
Let's go.
Hey, I was one of the only ones that I will proudly say this. I didn't trip and fall on the 40-yard dash, which multiple people did. I didn't get hurt. I didn't pull a hammy. I didn't throw up. I was one of we had a couple of media guys going back for the trash can throwing up. Okay. It wasn't me. I made it through. I did not get hurt. Now, for 5 days after that, my quads and I was to sit down and go to the bathroom. I was holding on to this. I literally could barely walk for a week after that. But the actual event itself, I did not.
I love the fact that you said, there's cameras. All that. Oh, isn't that interesting? When the camera comes on, things change.
Well, there's a reason we're on this side of the camera, not the other side. We're in the press box, not on the field. I never claimed to be a world-class athlete here, okay?
You did.
The whole thing was so Spencer and all these guys could get out there and just laugh at us the whole time. And it's that's great. I'm glad we could give everybody their enjoyment for the And yeah, you've got your meme forever of me not even knowing how to do a broad. I didn't even jump. I went back and I'm like, what am I doing?
I don't know.
Bend your knees. I could have got 2 more feet.
You were doing,
I mean, that was like, I think I got 4.6 or something on that. It was.
It's gonna go down as one of the classic things.
You know what? I'll do whatever. If it helps me sell a few more subscriptions, I'll do it again. I don't care. Whatever.
Okay.
I never claimed that I was the star athlete at the table here. So it is what it is.
And why did you you jumped and then you launched to the?
Oh, I kind of lost my balance and fell. Yeah, because I know if I fall backwards, then A, that looks worse, and B,
when I saw that, I literally almost had to pull the car over. I was laughing so hard.
But you know what? I put it out there myself. I said, why'd you have to do this to me, KTVB? I put it out there. I said, I retweeted it when KTVB posted it. I said, why'd you do this to me? But it was like, dude, I mean, I got to the next practice and I had like coaches coming over. Like, what was it? Like, yeah, nice job out there. Like, what was that? Dale comes over. Yeah, nice broad jump. We all saw you. I'm like,
well, that's the way it goes. It happens. I mean, you weren't good. That was that.
And the thing is, I watched the video and I'm like, what was I doing? Like, because right now, and you know,
don't do it to yourself. Don't do it.
Right now, I could do a broad jump and I would get at least 2 feet more because I actually I didn't jump. I just kind of like hopped out there.
I don't know what you're.
I didn't bend you got to bend your knees and actually push off.
Yes.
But when you're 200 plus pounds pushing off and you have no you've never, I haven't done that before. I don't know. I watched the video and I wasn't even jumping. I just kind of hopped. I didn't even jump. Bend your knees and push off. I don't know what I was doing.
I don't know but I'll tell you what, it was.
Well, that's what
shit rotan.
That's what I'm here for. All you guys group chat making fun of me. I'm great. I'm glad I could help out. I'm glad I could.
Oh my God, I'm cramping.
I'm glad.
I'm cramping.
I'm glad I could make your day.
Make my day. You made my year.
I'm happy. That's what I'm here for.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
That's what I'm here for.
Bronco News Nation live.
Bronco Nation News.
Sorry, I'm still caught up on you falling.
All right, let's get out of here. Hope everybody enjoyed our 2 days of coverage from Las Vegas. Me and my broad jump.
Oh
yeah,
I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Fans.
Appreciate Circa, Derek Stevens, Aaron, everybody involved at Circa. San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 taking over here next to us.
They're taking over. We're going to
get out of here. And
football.
I'll be on KTIK this afternoon. Johnny and Bob Beeler, I think I'm going to be luckily I'm taping that interview pretty quickly here so then we can get out to the pool. I'm not having to go live at 4:00 out by the pool. We're going to tape that interview, but I'm going to pack up here and get on with Johnny and them back in Boise and then try to enjoy ourselves for a few more hours and then be ready to roll at noon tomorrow. Spencer Danielson's Week 1 press conference. We'll stream that live, technology permitting, I always say, because something always could go wrong. But technology permitting, we'll be live at noon for Spencer. That's the only thing saving me, Brad, from not, probably being several beverages in by 4:30 kickoff is I can't start till at least 1 after the Spencer Danielson press conference tomorrow. Because if we were here or if I was already back home, for the first here, the last thing I'll say is I don't like people give me whatever. Like, it's my alma mater. I went to Kansas. We were god awful for a good majority of my football life. Yeah. When I was a student there, I was a senior. We won the Orange Bowl. Yeah. So I was actually there I was a student. I was in the stands. I was covering games in media when we were actually decent. Yeah. So I have a positive. But then when we had such bad years. And the other thing I'll say is like people can joke, well, oh, you're not a fan of Boise State, whatever. Like, yeah, for my business, for all the people watching, I want Boise State to do well, yes. But we're not up there it's just not how it works in media where you're up there in the press box wearing a BSU polo cheering.
You can't do that.
It's a quiet press box.
Yes.
It's silent. You're not drinking. You're not tailgating. You're there to work the game.
Exactly.
So as a person who got into sports media because I like sports and I'm a sports fan, those days actually kind of suck. Like it's fun to watch a game. It's fun to be there, but it's not everything else. I'm walking through the parking lot, watching everybody tailgating. Sure. They're drinking. You guys are at the James pregame drinking. Like, yeah, that sucks for me. That really does. So on the days where it lines up where my alma mater, I also had the Rams leave town. I mean, I always joke about the Battle Hawks because they're like my one football team left in St. Louis, but it's like, whatever. But the Rams left.
Who is that?
They're the UFL team that's there right now.
Oh,
I just joke about them. But the Rams left. And so, I mean, I like the Chiefs, but I don't have like this emotional tie to the Chiefs where I get like super. I mean, they're my NFL team, but it's not the same when your team
leaves. Passion for
when your team loses. You don't just when your team leaves. So Kansas football is my one, just like blood, sweat, and tears, diehard. Like that's my team. I went to school there. I have the emotional tie. I've been there for 30 years. Yeah. Yeah. But when you play your 12 football games, that's different. And so, but it's only usually 2 or 3 times a year where, and maybe less, where Boise State and Kansas are not playing at the same time.
Right.
And a lot of Kansas games, I'm in the press box trying to watch on my thing, and it's or I'm watching it at noon before showering to leave for the Boise State game.
Sure.
And when they beat Oklahoma and had that amazing win a couple years ago, it was a humongous win. They beat number 6 Oklahoma. I'm literally in the parking lot at the James with on my phone watching it, waiting. Oh, I need to go set up for our show, but not wanting to miss the last minute of this game.
I don't blame you.
So
I don't think you got.
So tomorrow, 4:00, I'm having some people over. I'm going to enjoy this game, and then the game I'm really looking forward to in 2 weeks. Thank you, Boise State, for making it a Friday night game, Eastern Washington, because Saturday, the next day, is Kansas and Mizzou resuming the rivalry. I'm super excited about that. So yeah, I don't get too many opportunities. I'm excited to put on a KU shirt tomorrow and have a couple cold ones and yell at the TV. And when you add the gambling aspect in where there's a 13-point spread, I can make it a little more exciting. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I wish I was here watching it with you. I'm not going to lie. If we didn't have Spencer Danielson's press conference tomorrow, which Reid was trying to tell me I should have just stayed anyway. And there's probably some truth to that. You were telling me that too. But we want to get back and stream it and do all this. But I would be here if not. But you know what? We'll do the Spencer press conference. We'll get some stuff posted, and then I'll be a fan for a couple hours.
Good for you. That's the way it should be. Trust me. I played at Colorado. I love Colorado. I don't really love him now, but he still shouldn't win the Heisman.
Let's get out of here. Which NFL team, by the way, do you claim? Like, what is there one team? Is it is it Cleveland because of your wife?
I like watching the Browns win. That never happens, and I like Green Bay just because the guys I played with. Love them. Okay. Those are the two teams.
Okay.
I don't have my first NFL game I ever went to is the first one I played in. We never went to NFL games. Now I've been to plenty of USC games, UCLA games. Didn't miss a Rose Bowl
because the Rams weren't there. There was no team in LA.
They're in the Raiders.
Oh, right. Okay.
But college football is my family's deal. I've been to every Rose Bowl since the age of 5 till I was 20. My dad was in the tournament for 30 years. My uncle has been in every Rose Bowl game since 1955.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Mm-hmm. And you got to get back at least 1 or 2 after at some point. I forget when.
Yep, we went back every time.
Look at this. Alex Gold providing beverages. I wonder if you heard me talking about that on the air. All right, now it's definitely time to
got to go.
Brad Bedell's beverages have arrived. The Celsius, of course, yes. But Brad, appreciate it. Fun couple days.
Absolutely.
We'll see everybody back in Boise Monday morning. We'll have our game week coverage going, and then you guys will be Tuesday night getting set there from the James. And hopefully folks will make plans now. Join us Thursday next week, Thursday, 3:30 at Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian. Been a fun couple of days here at Circa Resort and Casino. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. When I get back up to the room here, I've got 2 or 3 stories to post. We've got that projected depth chart up there as well. So a lot of great content online, BroncoNationNews.com. Go subscribe, and game week, it's here, folks. Spencer Danielson, noon tomorrow, back in Boise. We'll see you then. Bronco Nation News live here at Bronco Nation News from the Circa Resort and Casino. The ultimate contest weekend. Still sign up. Get that done. BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.